I guess in keeping with tradition, Holly, are you ready?
All right. Like I said, skip about 10 minutes ahead of time. But on episode 4 of Unexpected Arrivals,
Hello.
we finally defeated that worm at
What
the
worm?
that worm.
Which worm?
The one of the
the
two
worm.
Right. Okay. What
And
else
we got-
did you do?
We got lots of loot from it.
Did we
Thanks
stop
to-
streaming?
What? No. Crazy. Okay, anyways.
You can't interrupt the stream.
Tebron also finally got his magical sunglasses in the form of
Eye drops.
liquid eye stuff. Because that's what I wrote down. And
Not wrong.
The world through Holly's eyes. This is a terrifying place.
like I said, 10 minutes from now, you just go ahead and
Keep on clicking. You're not there yet, folks.
And we celebrate with Oberon, Kendra and Sarah's brother, because he's crowned himself victor of the thing. And
Hours of careful writing.
yes, that's right. So yeah, Kendra beats Roswell in a drinking contest. That's important. And yeah, we have plans to go to Grimtide, and there's two options: either the Shadow Oaths, underground black market-ish type venture, or there's a legal one that costs money, and some certain party members have volunteered us for the Shadow Oaths way. So
You're
we're leaving
welcome.
tomorrow.
We're going to the other remnants, by the way.
That's right, but yes, that is correct.
That's
Because we
correct.
don't have to go to Grimtide anymore because Margravine, who we met, I didn't meet, they met,
We
is
did
going
meet.
to magically make us appear there. Yes. And so, yeah, they asked Tebron's permission instead of mine, so he agreed.
Yeah, that's why Tevin went instead of one of the lawful characters.
That's why you always choose the person that's agreeable.
So we leave tomorrow at 8 a.m. and we come back in 2 weeks.
Well, now.
No. 2 days.
Nope, I wrote down 2 weeks, so that's what it is.
One fortnight. I have a chart of about 30 random encounters to fill the time. And we shall see what we shall see. But before we see these things, the party is indeed planning on heading to the Isle of Remnants in order to retrieve the elemental energy of what they believe to be air or storm type energy to charge one of the key swords, which will help them unlock the Temple of the Elders, which is deep underground beneath the capital city, inside of which is the Staff of the Elders, a weapon of great power, more so even than cheese. Will they destroy it? Will they wield it? Whose civilization will they ruin?
This time.
Let's begin again. Unexpected arrivals. You have both gone through the city of Chora, investigating for possibilities for fast travel, faster than conventional means that are arcane in nature. Teleportation circles took you to the Transient Juncture, which is basically an arcane travel agency that can send you a list of places that it maintains teleportation circles. And they also have an option to travel via the Arcanist to the Black Market, whom Holly mentioned, Margravine. So, after accepting her offer, Margravine's that is, with a snap of her fingers, those who were there, poof, to the central square out in the Amberfields district, just in a very sort of fast, disapparating wish of smoke. You look around, it doesn't appear like anybody has sort of noticed the sudden appearance of you, and then everything just sort of returns to normal. What would you all like to do?
I'd like to find a library. And I'm totally serious.
There are indeed libraries you are aware of. The Elementary Architects is the largest of them.
Have we told you what we're doing yet, though?
Yes, through Nemarius.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
I was sending.
Oh, right. Right.
So, tomorrow morning is when you have said you would like to leave.
And we need to prepare.
What time of day is it now?
It is just before noon. The sun is high aloft in the sky above you.
Yeah, I'd like to go to the library, and I'd like to get information on the Isles of the Remnants and find out what type of climate it is. Well, I should know. It's going to be cold, but, you know, I want to get specifics. And I want to see if I can get any information on the exact location where we're going, which I can't really remember right now.
I don't know exactly where you're going, so...
So we need to find out exactly where we're going.
I mean, I know, but I don't know that you know.
I'm not sure if I know either, actually. Let me see.
That makes two.
Consult the library.
All right, so while Akira heads to the library, does anyone wish to accompany her? Does anyone have other tasks they need to do before they leave for 2 weeks?
I think Teprin would like to do anything besides going to the library. Literally anything.
I'm going to buy a shield.
I was just going to say, I think we should, you know, like as Tebrin, Kendra, and I reapparate in there, like, I think we need to buy provisions. Like food stuff, warmer cloaks, maybe some healing potions, anything else that might help us. Maybe some candy.
Seems
not a-
useful.
Well, I mean, like, you know, we might be going to someplace really dire.
Well, I mean,
So,
knowing
like,
us, most likely.
like, but wouldn't you like have appreciated it, like when we were like fighting the, you know, like in the undead or whatnot, having like a couple butterscotches to lift your spirits or something like that?
Mostly, I would have preferred fewer undead.
Well, right, but I mean, like, some hard candy in your pocket never hurts anything.
Sure.
I suppose it could be
Well,
a choking hazard.
Well, you don't have to eat it.
Kira, you're in the library.
Somehow
Holly,
she
you're breaking my immersion.
Sorry. Bashing on candy.
Listen, I'm just saying that you might appreciate it later.
All right. I mean, we can add it to the list. I think healing potions are a bit more important.
I will purchase a shield.
Also, if I'm to stay here, if there's anything you need done or looked after, I need to know that so I can make sure that I tell one of my servants to take care of it.
So, have you decided then?
We were meant to decide.
We had decided.
I thought all of you had decided.
Yeah, I do think it's wisest for you to stay here. The more I hear about this place, the less I like it.
Well,
I'd rather have you be here where I know you're not going to get consumed by a shadow monster. Theoretically.
Theoretically.
I'll try to stay away from the ground and other things that are dangerous. But, I mean, I haven't been to a spa in over a week now, so A little rest
Oh.
and recuperation is in store for me, I'm sure, and whatever business you have attended to, don't worry, I'll keep a good eye on everything here. I might venture down, make sure all is well in our wonderful below ground city, you know, just sort of keep an eye on things.
Did you say to avoid the ground?
The ground has proven to be quite dangerous, as I've come to realize. The things come
But
out
this
of
is
it.
a land of shadows. Is what you're saying? Is that's where the shadow fell?
Oh.
It is.
We're starting this early, aren't we?
Oh. Oh.
I was thinking more of the worms coming up, but
Oh,
I'm sure
right.
Akira will learn all about the wonders of the Isles for you. I've never been there. It's quite a bit too cold from what I know for my liking. I much prefer places like Paradise Oasis, for example.
It's pretty self-explanatory that that would be a good
Paradise.
place.
It is quite lovely. Well, you all have some things to attend to, so I will go do nothing for a while. So, those of you wishing to buy things are available to buy at Player's Handbook prices.
I'll get you a cloak.
Thank you.
I
I'll pay
would
you
very
back.
much like winter gear as well, if possible.
All right. If you're looking to buy sort of winter cloaks and that sort of thing,
I would like half off, please.
Ah,
Literally, this shirt is too big. I need half of it off.
they do actually
Preferably the bottom half.
they do.
That would be
There
weird
are
anyways. It's just like-
tailors to all shapes and sizes in terms of like there are clothing stores specifically for sort of gnome body types and all of that. Like you want for nothing when it comes to commercial goods in Chora.
Yes, we're gonna go to the not half bad clothing store and purchase some winter gear.
All right.
Probably something with a big mane.
All right.
A night
So,
watch or something.
heading out, you do find a place in Ameris called the Dapper Field Mouse, which can accommodate all your needs.
Excellent, because I can speak with small animals.
Yeah. And so it's five silver for a nice heavy cloak, various sort of other things like gloves, hats, fur-lined boots, that sort of thing.
Well, I'm looking for linings for heavy plate mail armor.
Yep. They can
That's
cater
about
to
it.
all
I
of
don't
that.
think I'm gonna have oven mitts above my. I need my Warhammer hand free. I guess this hand is a shield. It could be a mitt.
what colors does Akira typically wear?
I have this information somewhere, but I can't think of it myself.
What color? Are you a gold dragonborn? Or
I
bronze?
am.
Okay.
She likes
Wait, am I?
neon orange
Definitely one of the
Okay.
colors.
and polka
Sure.
dot.
All right.
blue and red.
I will get you some deep blues.
Oh,
Plaid,
awesome.
For plaid.
All right, if I can. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
So I want to pick up kind of the similar things like cloak, some mittens, warmer gear for myself and for Akira.
All right. So 5 silver for unless you want to get like super fancy, like Gore-Tex, whatever type outdoors gear. Yeah, 5 silver per kind of like full set of that stuff.
Okay.
I will also do this.
All right.
I will also. do this.
Everyone can do this. It costs 5 silver for this
Silver.
set.
Yeah.
I am marking it down.
I think they sold me a child's onesie.
Come on, just as Tigger.
The tail is just poking out through some of the plates in the arm.
I don't understand how this cloak came with a hood and ears.
It's so cute.
It's a festival cloak.
I love it.
You're ready
And
for
then-
Coachella.
I think hardtack provisions and whatnot for
Barely
2
bear it.
weeks.
All right, rations are available at Player's Handbook prices.
Roswell, did you say 2 weeks?
Yeah.
What is the meaning of this? What exactly will we? Are we being? Are we going somewhere else first?
Well, here's the thing. How long do we know that any of this is going to take? I know it seems like a long time, but
You're a diviner. You can find the correct path quickly, I believe.
it sounded a lot
I
more than
think
that.
I think 2 weeks is perhaps overshooting. Perhaps
Well-
by around 11 to 12 days,
So then why didn't you say anything when we were in there?
because it was 5 in the morning.
Well, then you got no one to blame but yourself.
No, I have everybody to blame.
Blame
Well-
aside, if we do want to change it, now would be the time because afterwards might not be available.
Well, I mean, we should still be able to contact Ciara, who is the one who got this meeting in the first place. So,
Oh, and you know she'd love to speak with those people again because it's so dramatic.
I'm still actually here. I haven't.
And also listening, even though clearly she walked away earlier.
Well, you went shopping and I followed you. Couldn't help myself.
You're like, that's the wrong job.
you're really
So-
more of a winter.
Anyway, I'm sorry I made such a mistake.
How much time do you need? I can head off and.
I just hope we don't have to build an igloo for 2 weeks. That's my only point.
Maybe you should wait for my information.
Akira, from the library, I hear mumbling.
Then
All right.
somebody else make the decision, not me.
Excellent. Well, then I nominate myself to make the decision. I say, to be safe, let's go in between Kendra's and Roswell's choice of 2 weeks. And Kendra's choice was what, 2 days? So I'll be on the safe side. Let's say like 5 days. That gives us enough time to get lost. I dare say we were in the Underdark with the Drow for less than 5 days. Maybe.
Yes, but we were on a path and we had a freaking map.
Do we not have a map to this?
Nope.
Oh, I was under the assumption that we had a clear and cut path.
Nope.
We know general information.
What about a week then? What do you feel about that, Roswell? Or do you really think we need to? If you think we need to, I'll defer to your wisdom.
Well,
I just
I overestimated and it was a lot of pressure and it was creepy down there. So, and nobody contested me. So 2 weeks sounded perfectly fine at the time.
if you still feel that way, we'll go for 2. It's
I don't, well,
matter-
you're all making me doubt everything. So, I don't
Don't-
know. 2 weeks.
they're
sounds good.
havels. They have to.
I don't think it should be less than 4 days.
Well, why don't you all decide by sometime tonight, and I will take care of
Impossible.
it if you need to change anything. But I don't think they'll be too keen on changing back and forth. So let's be sure that this is precisely what you want. All right, if anyone else wishes to buy things, they are available at Player's Handbook prices. If it's not in the Player's Handbook, I can make a price for you. Akira, you are you headed to the Illuminatory Architects?
Sure, why not? This is my favorite place in the entire universe.
Okay. You have
And,
met
I
the
found-
universe.
My notes. So I recall that I want to look up at the Dorashan Tower or something about a tower.
Darashan, yeah.
Yep, and the domain of the Storm Giants
All right.
and the Isles of Remnants in itself. Like,
All right. Give me an investigation roll for Tower of Darashan.
please, for the love of Athena. Fuck
right.
you.
Going through, you do find an atlas that identifies the Tower of Darashan sits atop a rocky mountainous peak in approximately the center of the Isle of Remnants.
Center Rocky Peak. Okay.
And what else do you want?
The domain of the storm giants.
Investigation.
I'm 13.
Going through, you find a couple of mythologically referenced kind of pseudo history, story type narrative things, and amongst them, you read a bit about farther up north. You get even starting in Glenmavar and all points beyond that, heading up into the more frozen areas of the universe, are areas where giants live and roam. You've never seen one yourself, but it's pretty well documented. The areas sort of where it gets on the edges of civilization and inhospitable areas are home to both sort of ice giants and storm giants as well. The storm giants themselves don't actually live terrestrially on land, but rather live in basically small cities or castles that are actually in the clouds themselves. Generally travel as storms. And storm giants are more of a fable than the rest of them, in that they very, very rarely make any sort of contact with anything. They're known for being very isolationist and aloof, and generally regarded as the largest and most dangerous of the various types of giants.
All right, reading about that. Can I also look just some like general things about giants, like this sounds weird, but what their favorite things are in like a maybe in terms of food. I don't know. Just,
There are texts on giants, the subject matter specifically. Going through them, food preference of giants is widely varied. Giants are typically known as, or on varying levels of sort of intelligence. Hill giants will eat just like livestock or people, while others higher up will actually sort of prepare meals and do all of that much the same that normal people that are smaller might do. Not a whole lot is known about storm giants, as they don't really have communities that are accessible to normal folk.
Okay. And then I guess the climate and terrain, even though I should know this, but just because I'm me.
Yeah, so
Of
going
the
through,
Azure.
I mean, and you do know a fair bit about this, just sort of like from your own knowledge of geography. The Isle of Remnants is more sort of Arctic in climate. It does thaw come the summer months, but pretty much sort of mid-fall through mid-spring is cold or snow. The terrain itself is very rocky and mountainous. There are deciduous forests there, those sort of things. Very sort of almost kind of northern Scandinavian type feel to the general terrain.
Okay.
They are known for their storms as well.
And I doubt that I can find anything on it because Karut has stolen everything. But I'm going to look one more time and see if there's anything about the charging of the key. This is okay. Sorry, I just have to work this out in my brain. Because the Ashen Veins, that should be the fire one. The Gem Spiral Descent and the Glittered Barrens is what, earth? Hand of Tides, that's water. So this is... We have this sword, right?
You have 2 swords.
We don't have the fire one. Which one did we put in the thing?
Water.
Are we sure about that?
Yes.
I mean, we don't know if it's charged, but that is the one we put in.
Okay. Okay, so anything about the key, the...
All right. Going through, you do spend some time trying to sort of cross-reference stuff, maybe go at things from a different angle. One of the library assistants helps you for a short period of time, but anywhere you think you have found a lead quickly runs aground as the book has either been transferred to the Bremeraldi School libraries or has been checked out by Karut himself.
Okay, so nothing. Yep. Okay. I think I'm done.
Let's see. All right. So, we've all done our shopping. We've done our research.
One thing I wasn't able to find is the cost of healing potions and also potential availability of.
Regular healing potions are abundant and purchasable for 50 gold pieces a piece.
Is that the common?
Common. That's
Okay.
2d4 plus 2 ones. If you would like more better ones, I believe a greater healing potion is 150 gold apiece, which is 44 plus 4.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to get a minimum of 1 per person of the regular, the common?
Yeah, that seems wise.
Okay.
How much gold do we have?
I hope that comes from the party.
Already loot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
We have a
Did
lot of
anyone
money.
get a climber's kit?
We can pick up a climber's kit or 2.
We might
It
need
is-
one per person.
It's
25
25
gold.
gold, and I don't know
Apiece.
exactly what's in them.
We don't
Let's
need
look.
it. Just toss me. It's fine.
Well, climbers kits
Can
have
any of
like
us pick you up?
pittance, rope.
I'm a
They have
little
better
loaded.
rope than what you have, or at least lighter rope than what you have.
Boot tips, gloves, and a harness.
Yep.
Use an action to anchor yourself. When you do, you can't fall more than 25 feet from the point where you anchored yourself.
That sounds wise. Yes.
I'm not sure if we need 1 per person, though.
Probably not. Might be overdoing it.
Because we don't know for sure that we're going to have to go up something.
Right.
So it seems like something that's good to have in our back pocket, but isn't something that we need to, like...
Right, but I guess I just don't know. Sorry, just the mechanics out of character of how many people could it help, right? So do we need to get 2? Do we need to get...
You will, in order to confer the benefits from it of being able to anchor, each person would need their own climbing kit. There are some items that would overlap, but unless the people have the harnesses, they're not going to be able to like tie into stuff and use lines that have been already done.
Because I mean, like, in all honesty, if we were in a situation where we were climbing, I would be most concerned about like Kindra. Right? Because the rest of us could probably take a fall. And the rest of us also, I don't think, have negative strength modifiers.
What's your HP?
70.
Mine's 66.
Okay. Well,
I don't think
but
four
I'm just saying, you
I-
still have you still have a minus to the.
I
I
have
don't
blank.
have a minus strength, but I do have a 0.
Advantage of everyone getting a climber's kit is it also helps us descend if we were to find some subterranean something.
Maybe
Disadvantage of everybody getting a climber's kit is that with my -2 strength modifier, I cannot carry infinite amounts of things around with me.
but I've got the bag of holding though.
Right, but it's not that useful in the bag of holding, right? I mean, I guess we can get it out if we need it, but
Yeah, I mean, if we're like in the middle of falling, it's not going to help us anyway.
yeah. Anchor,
Pass
anchor,
the
anchor.
So 5.
Yeah, let's just do it.
Climbers
Yeah,
kits,
I mean, like,
that's
I think,
25
yeah.
apiece.
All right, so that's 125.
Are you adding up to subtract all at once?
The only one I haven't done is the silver but right now we've spent 375 gold on the healing potions and 5 climbers kits.
Okay, I mean, I took the rations out of my own fund.
Another thing that I've thought about maybe is getting
I'll do it on the party loot with
smith's
the
tool?
gold.
tools kit, maybe? Or smith tools, maybe?
Keeping in mind
Or-
that if you get smithing tools, you still need to be proficient in using them
Yeah.
in order to
But I
produce
can
anything.
I can magically be proficient with it for a certain amount of time.
That
What are we-
you can.
What are we getting them for?
Just what if we need them to forge the key? I don't know how we do this.
We would need the forge to
I
forge
don't
it.
think we need
Like,
to
I mean,
right now
okay, so
on
that's
this
not
on
thing.
this trip. I mean, like later, yeah, but on the trip, I don't think we need that right now.
Okay. And I would like to do one more thing. Is there like a, or maybe it is at the library before I leave the library. Is there like a map section?
There are atlases at the.
Can I get
Library.
one of those?
You can
Like,
look
is
at
there a
them,
detailed
yes.
one of the?
Boink.
There are large sort of like world maps, but looking through, it appears that as far as mapping of the area itself has not been mapped using any sort of the more modern techniques that lead to good maps. There are, looking at it, there's the most recent one you can find is from hundreds of years ago. And it has basically in the sort of the central spot in the island itself. Let me go to the map here. That is a little bit kind of east of where Shadowfront is. There is another sort of populated area, and it does show topographically that that's the highest peak of the mountain range that kind of curls its way up, follows the shape of everything. So that's marked as the highest point of elevation. But that's really the only
Okay.
things that you get. You get the impression just from going through and reading and doing all this research that the Isle of Remnants is not somewhere that people really go.
Okay. Is there a cartographer in town or anything like that?
I mean, you can definitely try to find one.
Oh, let's try and find one.
There are all things in Chora. Make an investigation roll.
12.
All right, so asking around, spend about an hour kind of trying to track one down, and you do manage to find a small shop. In it sits a man with circular rimmed spectacles, has a big kind of drafting table out in front of him, working under a couple of candles, just scrolls on shelves, all about what would you like from the cartographer?
Hello, sir. I was wondering if you had any or could make any, um, just general maps of the Isles of Remnants or Shadowfront, or if you have anything
Well,
or any information.
I have some maps that show the Isle of Remnants in context with the other sort of continents and geographical features around it from a very removed perspective, based on historical information. I've never been there myself, so I can't exactly speak to what the interior there is. If you'd like to commission a map, I'd be happy to travel there with your expenses, and I could perhaps scribe one for you and return with it in 5 to 6 months' time.
That won't be necessary. I was just looking if you had any already existing.
No, I'm sorry, there's not a lot of call for Isle of Remnants maps. It's kind of a chilly place from what I gather, and there's lots of mountains, hard to track. Those old maps should probably be at least decent, and, pointing out that there's a mountain there. I think geographically it broke off from the top of the continent here, right below, see where Eridor is? There's a mountain range there, and I think it just kind of slid off into the sea at some point and then just made its way north, like one of those winter elves, perhaps.
Okay.
Yeah, can't be of much help, sorry.
That's okay. Thank you. Very, very, very good. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay, I think I'm just gonna go and find the party then.
All right. Anyone else? Any other things they need to do?
I don't think so. I'm cleaning up my inventory, and apparently I have 6 daggers.
All right. Sierra did take one, by the way, so I don't know if
I have 5 daggers.
I don't know if you deducted that when that
I
happened.
don't know. I don't remember anymore.
All right. So.
Oh, I was serious about buying candy.
Fair enough.
So that'd be like a rat.
You can find some sort of like taffy-like candy. They also have sort of more crystalline kind of rock candy type things. There are other various types of more pastry-like confections.
I'll take the rock candy.
Okay.
So, bag of assorted candy.
So one silver piece, and you've got like 2 pounds of candy if you'd like.
Okay, we'll do that.
You know what? Instead of finding them, though, I'm just going to go back to the sanctuary and I'm just going to sit outside and I'm going to prepare mentally what exactly it is that I'm going to want to have with me on the trip.
All right.
Yes.
So, preparations have been made. Does anyone have anything they'd like to do before going to sleep and rousing?
Before we
like-
sleep,
Sorry.
before we sleep, I will be putting one vitrolic sphere into my ring of spell storing.
All right. At what level?
4th level. So I have 1 vitrolic sphere and 1 healing word at 1st level.
All right.
So, we all have a healing potion now.
Yes.
Just collectively, you all have 1.
Just small sips, 1 hit point each.
I would just like to discuss with Roswell spells and such that we should have.
We can do via chat if you want.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
All right.
I want to just tell Sister Isolde that I'm going to be leaving for a bit, but not exactly where and what, but I'll be back.
What?
Don't need-
What?
Yeah. She wishes you well on her on whatever it is you're doing.
Because if I just like disappear for 5 days, it's going to be weird. But she doesn't need to know
You
where
were
I'm
gone
going.
for 7 years. I don't think she'll notice that much.
Yeah,
Who knows? We could be gone for another 7 years.
yeah. So,
We don't know where we're going.
um,
All right.
I pulled Teb aside for a minute.
Yeah.
When I get a chance. Do you think I should tell my dad what we're doing? This whole having
Well-
parents thing to disobey is kind of weird and new to me. So,
I mean, if you're asking me for my gut reaction to telling a parent what you're doing, the answer is no. Under no circumstances, absolutely not.
Is there any benefit to telling him what we're doing?
I pulled Teb aside.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I shout across the room.
Somehow you're.
I've learned how to read lips.
I got to take the observant feat between levels.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know me. I'm always inclined to play things closer to my chest as opposed to telling people. It means that there's fewer people who know. And at the moment, all we're trying to do is charge the swords, and we don't actually know if he would approve of that.
Oh, I don't
Sowing
think
discord where there's no need for it.
so maybe tell him when we're further along in progress. I guess.
I think we should
to
get our
let him know we're coming.
yeah. I think we should get our feet underneath us first before we start.
Is this what being a rebellious teenager's like?
Going on quests to save the known world from
Yeah.
unknown evils beneath. No, usually you just kind of sneak out and you get drunk.
Well, I mean, I don't need to sneak out. Nobody judges me if I drink. So, I mean, like, oh my God, do you judge me when I drink?
No,
Everybody judge me when I drink? Holy shit.
nobody cares if you drink.
I've been doing it all along. I'm a rebel.
All right.
Rebel, alcoholic. Eh.
Rebel with or without a cause, it's a little bit unclear.
Okay. But just know, I do intend, I think it's smart to maybe wait a bit till we figure out what's going on. But I do think we should give them a heads up that when we're closer to whatever the hell it is we're doing, because maybe if whatever defenses they put up inside, we don't want them to backfire on us.
Yes, no, I agree. But we're also still not sure of what exactly we're dealing with. So I would like to know a bit more before we start pulling in other people.
Yeah. I hope they're not evil. Do you think they're evil? Do you think?
Roswell, I have no idea how to answer that.
We don't know how to. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
And again, I invite you to consider my family. My baseline may be a little bit cockeyed.
Well, I have no
Non-existent.
baseline, so yeah. Okay. I mean, they did like, pull a dragon inside.
Well, I mean, that isn't, I don't think, a sign of moral rectitude or a mortal sin.
Sure. Okay.
We don't know. We know very little at this point. Let's hold off until we know more.
Okay. I might just say hi every now and again, though, but not like
That's a
saying.
good idea.
Okay.
I do. You should communicate with them if that's a relationship you want to cultivate.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And scene.
All right. So, if you're all headed to your various places of rest, most of you going to the Breenheld Sanctuary. Siora does come by a bit later and gives a sort of, with a wrapped up sort of cloth bag tied very neatly with a bow that's probably a little bit too ornate for the actual functional nature of the bag, and just sort of sets it in front of you, Tebrin. I put together a little care package for you to take with you. That's well, don't die.
Thank you. I will do my best. That's generally my goal. And watch your back as well. We don't know exactly what we're leaving behind here either.
Oh, yes, you do.
He's just gonna stand up and kiss her.
All right. So she happily hangs out for the duration of the evening.
Oh, did we, Sierra, can you tell them to make it 5 days? We decided.
Tevin will tell her. I can assure you cannot find Siora right now.
Sierra did tell them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Sierra was following your out of character conversation. So.
Well, I wanted to state it just in case I didn't want it.
I Dora, personally told Siora.
Yeah. So. You all sort of lay down to go to sleep, a little bit nervously. Thoughts of what could be happening sort of run through your head. Kira, you kind of go through all the various notes and research that you've done, trying to piece together what things could possibly be. As you all awaken, sort of gather your stuff around dawn, and meet in the courtyard area. Sun is sort of just starting to go up, kind of not really sure what process initiates any of this. You all mull around, sort of anxiously. Small talk fills the air.
I resent that.
And let us switch things up a bit. The all right. As you're kind of just waiting, some of you pacing, some of you waiting patiently, all of a sudden this sort of shadowy rift opens up, and Shadow kind of reaches out, and you see Akira just sort of like pulled sideways, lurching, and then disappears. You look over to see just sort of another portal of shadow just kind of envelop around Ameris as he's just sort of like, and one by one you're just sort of pulled very unceremoniously into these various pockets of shadow. Once you're inside, everything is black. It feels like you're being both compressed and pulled apart, tumbling. You lose all sense of direction, what is up, what is not.
What is love?
And then
You don't hurt me.
you feel it. Hard, cold ground beneath you. Roswell and Numerius, you both sort of look up next to each other. Looking around, you see stone ruins of some sort of structure around you. And you don't see anyone else immediately near you. And then a few moments pass and you hear like another thump. And you look over, and back behind you in this kind of walled in large ruin area, you look down. It's maybe another story down. out in this area exposed to the open sky. There's shattered stone stairs that lead down. You look down and you see Akira, and then sort of colliding beside her, Tebrin. As settles a bit, the shadows around you just sort of coalesce and fade and just sort of soak into the ground. And they just kind of sit there, looking up. The sky is overcast and twilight. And you can't help but notice all of the other members of your party that you see, you all are emitting a very faint sort of aura of light. Not enough to illuminate a large area, but just this very soft kind of glow to each of them. Tebrin, you feel as you come slamming into this new place of reality, almost like there's something that sort of like tore away a part of you during the process. And you land a little bit disconcerted, but looking up, you see Akira there and are filled kind of like with this overwhelming sense of confidence and camaraderie, and that being alongside your friends, things will be able to persevere, and just generally a very positive feeling about this. None of you see Kendra.
We seem to have lost a sorcerer along the way.
I knew this was a bad idea. 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 I knew this was a bad idea.
All right. All right. We have all faced down much worse situations than this. I'm sure we could problem solve our way through it.
What an underhanded creature is she making a deal with now?
Kendra, you feel an impact as you sort of tumble out into this twilight lit area. The ground is cold and wet beneath you. As you sort of get up from standing, you can see small island to your right, maybe about 20 or 30 feet away from you. And you look down and you're just standing on ice in the midst of what looks like to be the beginnings of where the water just goes out to the ocean. The ice sort of just cracking beneath you. And as you kind of like assess like the strength, like am I about to fall through, you realize that it's mostly stable, though some cracks are beginning to propagate. And then next to you see another swirl of shadow, and you see Tebrin emerge there, standing up, the ice sort of cracking beneath him as he stands. Tebrin, as you land, yes, you feel like your mind has sort of been pulled in two directions. You look up and you see Kendra, and you look around, sort of trying to wipe off the cold ice, the inconvenience of how you've come to this circumstance. You see Kendra sort of like give you a nonchalant hello there, and you just can't help but be overwhelmed by the sensation of why is it your turn to have to take care of Kendra. Looking around
all the time.
You don't see any other people. There is a structure, a very small sort of like house-sized structure on this small island. There are various rocks that stick up through the ice in some places. You can tell that the ice it's not thick enough to be untreacherous, but for the moment is supporting both of your weights.
Did you do this?
What is this specifically?
Just kind of gestures around with a complete lack of other party.
I somehow decipher the meaning of that vague gesture. No. Why did you do this? I start walking.
Between the two of us.
Start walking over the ice.
Which is still just like yelling after you as you walk away. Which of us has the history of fucking with the party? And then follows her.
All right, I need both of you to make dexterity checks.
Okay. I'm going through the ice.
Check's not saving through.
Just checks.
Good grief.
All right.
way
Kendra,
over
as you start, first step, you kind of go forward, kind of confidently, perhaps misevaluating your situation of stability, and your foot just goes right through the ice. You don't fall completely into the water, but you do sort of fall down to like the mid thigh. The ice is or the water beneath the ice is painfully cold. As you just feel this sharp kind of like pins and needles feeling. Your boot just soaks in with water, and you push up, prying it out. You take 1 point of cold damage from the water. It kind of knocks the wind out of you a little bit. Tebrin, you manage to kind of step past and go along.
Keep on going.
One more failed dex save, and I'm banishing myself back to the material plane.
All right. It's easy enough for you both to reach the island. You see a small house that's maybe about 20 feet by 25 feet or so, kind of a thatched roof. Looks very old and run down, almost the same size. There's a large sort of pyre almost of stones just kind of laid overlapping one another, flat stones that look like they've been carved or chunked off of some larger thing, and atop of it is a set of logs set up as some sort of beacon. There's a ladder that looks long, seems crushed against it, and the wood atop looks slightly blackened, and there's soot that comes down, but beyond that, there doesn't seem to be any signs of people about. There's trash, various boards, and other construction materials strewn around the island, and then there's a small footbridge that kind of snakes back the maybe 100 feet or so back to the main shore. It connects up to several rocks in different places and kind of weaves and goes. Several spots of it have broken and kind of submerged and are covered over in ice. And as you both kind of walk around surveying the area, you see a figure off in the distance. And the only reason you notice it is the figure has a very faint glow about them as they come, like they're wreathed in this very subtle aura of light. You pause for a moment and look, and they appear to be running full speed towards the beginning of this bridge towards you.
I will be drawing the Moonblade.
All right. Numerius, Roswell, Tebrin, Akira. Looking around, things kind of settle. You're both on two different levels, so Roswell and Numerius kind of can look down to where Tebrin and Akira are. Tebrin and Akira, around you, there's just wooden debris. It looks like perhaps there were some sort of carts or crates or things here a long time ago. Everything's looked like it's been weathered over and over again by many seasons of erosion. There are no roofs on any of the different parts of this kind of very small, walled-in, castle-like structure. The large external walls, all of you, appear intact. You can see there's parapets up on them. The moon kind of peeks through this twilight in the clouds, and you can see from each of the crenellations, their shadow just kind of casts out long and steady across the causeway around them. Roswell and Numerius, up by you, there are sort of stone walls that look like they outlined various other sort of inner buildings to this. They're at varying states of erosion. It looks grown over, covered with dead vines. The ground beneath your feet is just sort of pocked with various grass that looks dead and defeated. And as you look out to some of the boards and various things that stick up and cast shadows, you notice that some of the shadows twitch.
I'll immediately draw my weapon, and I'll ask Tebrin,
Wait, I'm confused. Is Tebren is separate from us?
Focus,
No,
Tebren. You look like you're
Tebren's there.
this is
Oh, so
Now,
in your
Tebren is-
head you're with
Tebren is.
Or is it in your head that Tebren's here?
Has
Anyway,
Tebren
Tebren.
ever existed? Is Tebren even real?
Have you ever existed?
probably not.
How levels deep on the meta are we?
Meta or not, I'm gonna ask Tebren if
No, he turns towards him.
if he still has sending available.
3 times today.
Excellent. Try to locate Kendra and see what has happened.
All right.
I will defend against the shadows that move against us.
I would like to take a glance around first. So there's the shadow. Does it seem like the shadows are advancing,
It
or are they just kind of?
It doesn't seem like they're moving like an entity or anything. It's just they're not moving in a way that's natural or consistent. You kind of
So is it
looking around
like
to-
there was light behind them that's moving in an unnatural way?
a bit,
like, is it
and
that
some
kind of
some of them just sort of like extend out longer and reach. From what you can tell, there are no moving sources of light currently.
Okay.
You also
Right.
look down, sort of at the ground around yourself and Akira standing next to you, and you notice that neither of you have shadows at all.
How do I
Alright, I love that.
feel?
It's
Do I
entirely up
feel
to
like I'm
you.
really here?
I mean, you feel corporeal. You sort of reach over, touch Tebren.
Yeah, Tebren's just like, as you're doing that, just like grabs your elbow and wait. Are there stairs, functional stairs, that would get us up to where Nemarius and Roswell are?
More or less.
Okay, I'm gonna just drag her that way to try to get us a little bit of height.
All right.
I'll go drag me. Does this any sensation that I've felt before? Like, I feel like I've just been mind fucked.
Adult
What a
content
vivid
warning.
image.
It's cold. I mean,
Hateable.
It's up to you whether or not you've actually experienced teleportation before. It was disconcerting for those of you who have been troubled through a teleportation circle. You know that it wasn't like the most pleasant experience, and it was disorienting. This was substantially faster, but a bit more jarring than that experience. And the environment around you is sort of very acutely different than the kind of humid, very mild air that was in Chora. The air is bitingly cold right now. There's a very sort of soft breeze. You get the sense that you're protected currently in the walls that surround you. A little bit from whatever air is there. And looking down, you also see that Nemarius and Roswell do not have shadows either. All of you seem to just very softly glow, very faint, sort of warm yellow light.
I do like, I don't know if it'd be wisdom, but like, how does it, like, does this seem radiant, or like, how does it,
Do I feel evil?
like, with the glow? I guess, what can I kind of like, what
You
kind
can
of
Roll
check
to
would
five.
you can make an Arcana check to see if you think it's some sort of magical effect. You can make a Religion check to see if it has sort of religious connotation. You tell me how you would like to attempt to think about it.
I think I would do an Arcana.
All right. Nice.
Ah! All
20.
the knowledge belongs to
For
me.
a 26. Looking around, it appears that just from the nature of the light, it doesn't match any sort of light, like evocation magic you know of, in that it's almost too faint. It seems more aura based. Like, it's not something. The light is not something that's been done to you. It's something based on each of the individual people.
Oh, so all 4 of us are glowing.
All 4 of you are glowing.
Is it? I'm trying not to minute this. Is it because we're good? Okay. Where's Kendra?
I will find out momentarily once we're up. So I like have Nemarius between us and whatever the shadows are doing. Then I will cast Sending to Kindra. And I will say, where are you? Would be great to know whether or not you are extremely dead. We are in a ruined building.
All right, Kendra, you hear a message from Tebrin standing beside you.
So I have a mechanical question about sending. If I respond out loud, the sending doesn't go back, right? Like because you can reply to sending, correct?
Your choice whether you verbalize it or not.
Right, but my point is, if I think Tebrin is being dumb and is stood beside me, and I talk out loud, not casting sending in return.
Like, is it possible to delay the response? I think is what that's asking.
No, that's not what I'm asking.
Okay, then what are you asking?
Do I have to think, start recording, this is my message, stop recording? Or
all right, let's approach it from this way. Tell me what you would like to do.
Okay, well I'm gonna assume that Tebrin is doing something weird, and I'm not gonna sending back in return. I'm just gonna talk out loud to Tebrin, who is right next to me.
All right, Tebrin, beside Akira and Nomarius and all that, you don't get a response. Tebrin beside Kindra, you do get whatever Kindra says as the response.
Tebrin.
Yeah.
This isn't a building. And they're not here.
I'm so glad I have you here to tell me these things.
And Roswell and Nemarius and Akira are not here.
Yes, again, well spotted. Do you have a point here?
Do you have a point here?
I did not start this conversation.
You just wasted a spell slot on me to start this conversation.
I very much did not. I have better things to do with my spell slots than talk to you.
Can you consult your magical energy levels to see whether or not you did or did not spend a spell slot?
Has the Tebrin with Kindra expended a 3rd level spell slot?
You have expended a spell slot.
Okay. I mean, like, he just kind of pauses for a second and, like, kind of takes stock and then looks very confused and a little bit afraid.
You okay?
Great. We have incoming.
Right.
Both of you make perception rolls for me as you look back up to the figure racing towards the long sort of footbridge.
24.
Nice. And an 8. 24, you do notice there is now emerging from sort of foggy haze, kind of way set back. It's kind of like the shore is fairly clear beach, for lack of a better term, but it's not like a sandy beach. Rocks, and then set back, there's just rows of pine trees going up. You see another figure. This one looks to be clutching some sort of weapon, moving very agilely through the last of the forest and heading, it appears to be gaining on the target, who kind of stumbles approaching this. Heading.
And is this other figure also glowing?
They are not.
Okay.
Are we glowing?
You are not glowing. Neither of you are glowing.
I'm gonna keep my sword up in a guard, but I'm gonna let whatever's gonna happen play out.
I'm gonna raise my shield.
All right. those of you back in the castle section, sort of Numerius looking around, since you're kind of keeping a watchful eye on things, you see the shadows again, all of the shadows at once just kind of like shift and shiver a little bit, and then they all cease moving, whereas before they were all just very slowly going. You're muted.
There appears to be a development. The shadows have become static. Cling. Wait, no, just static. I want to see if our light, the light that we give off, affects the shadows at all. I would like to slowly get closer to one to see if there's any change in that in specific shadows.
As you stepping closer to it, so that the sort of faint aura you have actually kind of intersects with the shadow just sort of like curves and sort of moves away from it.
Ah, interesting.
That seems like normal shadow behavior.
I would like to focus as best I can to see if I cannot control this super glow. Let's glow. I would like to make some sort of inner inflective.
What is your spellcasting ability? Charisma?
You say that, but I believe that's correct.
So make a check with your spellcasting ability.
So make a spell like with proficiency?
No, because you're not proficient in this. So if just your charisma bonus, if it's charisma.
It is. Okay. So my charisma bonus, 4. I'll just roll my charisma, right? You can do that. Yep. I think you can do that. Click.
Yeah, just click charisma. That should be able to. All right, 14. You sort of like focus down as you see the shadow kind of like bending. Your aura doesn't seem to wax or wane or move. Just kind of glow from you.
I'm gonna summon up some dancing lights around my palm and then send them out and try to affect the shadows that way.
As you go out, they do cast new shadows around from some of the objects. And then once they get about far enough away from you, so they're kind of spread in area, you just see a shadowy form just and one of them disappears. And then another shadow goes, and one by one, they're grasped by the shadows and go. And the last sort of thing that engulfs one of them, you see just sort of floats up and continues its form, like not connected to any object, and then materializes as a figure up, standing on the battlement up above you, sort of to the right.
A figure that is just a silhouetted shadow, correct?
A humanoid-sized silhouetted shadow figure. Those of you waiting by the footbridge, you see this glowing figure arriving at the edge of the footbridge. She steps forward, and you can see that it is a female elf. The cloak that she was wearing has kind of been blown back from running. Her foot kind of goes through one of the boards as part of the walkway, sort of shakes and then falls, splashes in a bit as she kind of stumbles. The figure behind her is gaining, and you can see it pull out it appears to be some type of blade and throw it. And I need everyone to roll initiative.
Is there a thingy we click?
Unexpected.
There is a thingy.
There has been an unexpected arrival.
Oh, I can't actually.
Do we have a map, or should we just drag out?
Well, no, we'll have a map in a moment.
Okay.
Please,
Roswell, you're the size of a continent. Or
Oh,
no, they changed maps.
I went too early.
This map is
Alright.
darkness.
So-
Can I add myself to this map so I can see?
No.
Scroll down, Kendra, to there.
Can I put my character there where you pinged?
Your character should already be there.
I just see
Okay.
black.
Oh yeah, I just see black.
Well,
I
we
also-
are in the shadow realm. It makes sense. Because darkness.
Hold on, let me. Does that do anything, Kendra? There.
Nothing at all.
How come I can see?
Is it on the GM layer?
No, I just checked that. It is not.
Layers and players.
Fog of War.
Not what I meant to do.
I mean, you can try here. Let me try dragging you and see if that does anything.
Re-dragging myself did nothing.
I can see myself, or like, if I drag a square, I select a token.
Yeah, if I drag a square, I can see my token, but
Ooh,
That's
I
weird
found
that-
myself.
unfortunately nothing else.
How is that?
Ooh.
Yeah, there we go.
Do you see everything or just your?
Everything.
Yeah, I see the other map too.
Okay, that's fine.
Should I drag myself to? Where should I drag myself? I'm
There's
not
so
on
many
there.
pictures of everybody.
I can see now.
Oh
Yeah,
wait.
I'm in
Oh.
two different places too.
No, you shouldn't be. Yeah, I don't know why you're down there. All right. So let's-
Mechanically, am I rolling initiative once or twice?
Good question.
Speaking of initiative, I can just highlight and roll.
uh,
I don't have issues like that. Ah,
alright.
19. Excellent. This handy dandy shield gives me advantage. It's nice.
Bard's a broken class, gets 2 turns in one.
I like how it shows all of those things on. Does it show you the rules for initiative?
Mm-hmm.
It shows us the rolls and what they're called.
That's so weird. There's probably a way to make it not do that, but
You could have put them on the GM layer rolled initiative and then just switched
I-
them over.
I
You can
did.
also change the settings so that it doesn't show the names.
But you switched them over before you rolled initiative.
Well, no, 2 of them. Can you see Shadow Dancer and Gloomweaver on there?
Oh,
On the
No, not
initiative
on the
order?
list.
Yeah. Oh well.
Those are some cheerful sounding names.
It's fine.
these are GI Joe names. Shadow Dancer,
Everything's
Little Weaver.
fine.
All right,
Cobra.
Tebrin, you are first to act. You will act.
Which
in
Tebrin?
You will act in both scenarios.
Okay, so I'm not splitting my turn. Okay. And where is this shadow creature?
The one that materialized. Let me go back to the GM layer. Is here.
Okay.
And so the wall that they're up on there, the area that you're on, it's maybe about 12 feet from the ground up to the level there. And then it's maybe about 10 feet or so back down to like here, which is where you guys started. The stairs to go down there over here.
Okay. Does it look like I can get a shot off at him without, or her, it?
Probably a little bit of cover from since you're so close to these walls in front of you.
Can I move back so that I don't have that?
If you go down
Like if I-
here, you'll go down into the area below. But if you go over here, yes, you can.
I don't know where you're pointing. Like over here?
If you go here, am I picking on the wrong area?
You're putting on the wrong
If
layer.
you go over here, you're on the same level. If you go down here, you're going down 10 feet.
Oh, okay.
I will switch so that everyone can see the map. There we go.
Yeah, I'm just gonna scooch like over there. Is that better? Do I need to go back a little bit further?
No, that's like right the spot where it would start clearing.
Okay. I am gonna take 2 shots at this ominous-looking shadow creature.
All right, go ahead and roll me some attack rolls.
26.
That will hit.
11 points of piercing damage. Second one.
Will also
28.
hit.
13 points of piercing damage.
So 24 total.
Yes. And I am going to put away. No, I can't do that because I took it out, right?
I need to
Don't.
get you a magic bow.
Yeah, we do. Or magic ammunition.
You're doing what?
Putting a weapon away would be an additional action I don't have, correct?
You can put it if you're just like dropping it. That's not.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just hold it then.
Okay.
That's my turn.
All right.
Up there.
Now
And down here.
You guys actually would have been. You made your way sort of closer to the island here. So. Put you on. And so this is the figure that's running. And then,
Gonna move 15 feet here. And I'm gonna wait to see if anything makes a threatening move towards me. And I'm gonna, with a held action, that if something does so and comes within melee range, I'm gonna take a swing at it.
all right,
And that is really my turn now.
Roswell, you are up.
Okay. I am gonna scoot kind of behind Tebron because I saw him shoot over there and do Sacred Flame at that shadowy creature. Of course. Oh, I need to. Ooh, that was a terrible roll on damage anyway. And I'm gonna say to Tebron, did you ever hear back from Kendra?
No.
Where the fuck is she?
Oh, wherever she is for the moment, she's on her own.
Oh, I don't like that. And that's my turn.
All right, Marius, you are up. As you see, like the sacred flame just sort of burst out, and instead of like dodging it, it just sort of like just gets dark real fast.
Yeah. As far as I'm gonna double check, that is the only figure of shadow we can see.
If you'd like to make a perception roll and use an action to look, you can see if there's.
I
any
will
others.
be using an action
Okay.
look. I don't want to start a combat against like an illusion or something.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so my
perception.
stuff's right here. So perception it is. Doink. And I believe I had advantage because of my shield.
You do indeed.
$18.
All right. As you sort of see that your party is watching from that side, you do look around, and you see that there is off sort of to your right, up again on the parapet. You see there is another form coalesced up there, and then sort of spinning all the way around in the crushed tower back behind you. There is another form that's just sort of coming together during this.
I will say, we are being flanked, if not surrounded. Please don't do anything to provoke. Oh, the defensive maneuvers, evasive action. Make it so. Red alert. And
I don't know what any of those words mean.
What is he talking about?
I don't know.
Movement bonus action.
If he wants to stop me, he's going to need to be faster than that.
my movement's just gonna be a little tour to help with that my perception to see if there's any other hidden or unknown abouts. And luckily I got the 50 foot of movement, so I'll stop it right there.
All right. It is the Gloom Weaver's turn. Who's up here? You see this shadowy figure, getting a better look at them as they sort of like come out of a shadow form into a more corporeal form. Very, very pale skinned. Hair is just like platinum white. They're dressed in grays, blacks. There's no color on them at all. They look elf-like in appearance. Normal sort of humanoid size. This one dressed in these kind of longer flowing robes, but is also kind of clutching a spear in one hand, and unfortunately does not have the spell on its character sheet. We will remedy this momentarily, or we won't. That's annoying. All right, it is going to cast Chill Touch at you, Nemarius. I am going to have to roll
Is that a
this
saving throw?
manually. No, it's an attack roll.
Good, because I don't do well with other things.
Roll D20.
Not that they shouldn't hit me at this level. Well, maybe not.
So 14.
No, it does not.
All right. And the spell sort of goes out, but you manage to dodge this sort of swirling sort of mass of shadow towards you, and readies their spear up and just appears sort of through the shadow there with their spear sort of readied towards all of you. Akira, you see this. You see the figure appearing sort of down on your level here, closer.
Okay. But the one with the spear is this one, right?
This one has a spear. The ones up top appear to not be carrying a weapon. You look and you don't see anything in your hands, and then you see them kind of like reach to their sides and pull out, and they just have these about 4 foot long chains with spikes on them in both hands.
That's about right.
Nope.
Where the
Then-
point is.
I will cast Guiding Bolt at this one that is approaching me.
Oh,
15.
15 will not hit as it
Of course.
careens in. It sort of makes a little bit of contact, but you can see there's just this glow around it that just kind of absorbs the little bit that touches, and it just doesn't quite. Like it's coated in some sort of armor made for mages that's arcane in nature.
Okay. What I would like to do is ready my shield out in front of me, and what I want to do is cast light, but I know that I can't, but that's my plan.
All right. It is now the Shadows Dancer's turn. Did no, I didn't skip Kinder yet. All right. So. Let me get my ruler out here. They both. This one is going to just peer down there and run over to there using that part of the turn. This one will advance towards you, Tebrin, as it just appears in the shadow and closes in. It's going to make 3
Delicious.
chain attacks on you. So let's see, is this 22.
That'll do it.
All right, I need you to make a DC 14 dexterity saving throw. All right. So as it goes down, it sort of wraps the chain around. You can feel the spikes of it just going into your leg, and it just pulls your leg out from underneath you, knocking you prone beneath it. And you are going to take 10 points of piercing damage from that. It will then sort of swirl around with its next attack. This one is going to be at advantage because you are prone.
Prone.
In front of it, another spiked chain attack. 21.
Yep.
Go ahead and make another dexterity saving throw. This one at disadvantage because you're prone now.
That goes through.
14, just under, and as this one just sort of just goes right across your chest, you feel it sink in, and then it just feels like this cold, awful death feeling.
I just remembered the stat block. I've used it.
As you take an additional, oh, not too bad, 11 points of necrotic damage. It is now going to make its third attack on you, again with advantage. Spiked chain.
No.
Across the board. Even though that's an 11 on the roll, I don't know why it's... So the last one you just managed to sort of, as it pulls off the tripping one, comes back down, you manage to roll to the side, it goes across. Kendra, the assailed figure running full speed, kind of just like looks up a little bit confused at you two standing on the shore, hops from one rock to another, coming towards you. What would you like to do?
Are they crossing the bridge, or are they going across rocks?
It looks like their trajectory is headed this way.
Okay. And how far is like the fall from like the bridge down?
It's like right over the surface of the water, so it's not like
Okay.
it's like a foot maybe. Some of the bridge has like kind of fallen and sunken into the water.
And this gap is like accurate, right? It's like
Yep.
10, 15
And then
feet.
all of this is varying degrees of ice, and you guess from your experience on the ice before that if you try to move too quickly on it, you can potentially fall through or slip or any of that kind of jazz.
Okay. I am going to, when this person has crossed the bridge, I'm going to Eldritch Blast whatever on the other side the bridge is like anchored to. I assume there's like a wooden post or something.
All right, so you're holding your action for once the elf woman has crossed the female elf. You're gonna blow up some part of the bridge, like here or something.
Yeah.
All right. Easy enough to do.
And I guess I'll move like here or something.
All right. She does run past, so go ahead and make an attack roll
I'll make 2 attack rolls.
for me. All right. The first one does slam in, sort of dislodging it and crumpling that part of the bridge down, sort of blows a hole in the ice. The other one actually hits pretty much the same mark and just goes right into the water. Doesn't do anything really. As she continues running up,
Wait, did I hit the bridge or the ice? With the
you
first
hit
one?
the bridge and then the ice.
Okay.
So you accomplished what you were trying to do.
All right. Okay.
The second one just didn't really hit anything.
Yeah.
As she's running over, in Elvish, both of you speak so you can hear this. You just hear her yell, "Asdalia, help!" Going and she like is looking at you cautiously, but is just continuing to run towards this house. All right. The other creature back behind is going to advance to there. this one looks elven-like. Its head is completely like shaved, bald, very sort of white skin. You can see there's dark veins through right underneath the skin itself, and it is going to try to advance, and so it's going to need to make a dexterity save as you smash at the bridge in front, which your spell save is what, 15? Kendra?
My DC is 16.
Okay, 16. So we'll just save against that. All right, and it manages to leap over, over kind of landing just over past it, using that, and it is going to loose one of its daggers, make a dagger attack. First one there. 12 goes just wide as its foot sort of slips a little bit in the area you made. As the dagger sort of comes out, it flies by its target and then just bursts into smoke and reappears in the hand as soon as the arm is already throwing it again as it reappears. Another attack. That one is a 17 and will hit.
I'm going to bend luck.
Okay, so that's a
1d4.
You roll, or you knock it down.
Mm-hmm. By 2.
All right. So as you sort of just push it, it goes from hitting her square in the back to just catching her over the side, but still just barely isn't quite enough to get it to miss completely. All right, and so she's going to take some damage.
A little.
Purple War's back.
And it cuts just straight across, and you can see her just tumble over and collapse to the ground right there. As the dagger appears back in its hand, and just sort of like turns and looks as the figure collapses to the ground, sort of with a scream. You see a cloaked figure emerge, opening the door. Has a long bow in hand with just several arrows in the other hand. Looks down as she's going, and just sort of, without saying anything, knocks an arrow and just looses it at the creature. And we'll make a longbow attack against it. That will hit. That will not, and will not. So one hit does 11 points of damage to it as the creature recoils a little bit and kind of like slows and just sort of stops its advance. All right, Tebrin, you are up.
Is there difficult terrain in between me and here?
Negative.
Gonna do that.
Mr. Okay.
I'm gonna take 2 strikes with the Moonblade. Although I do have a question, actually. When other Tebrin was hurt, like, I presume that this one also lost hit points? Okay.
Well, I guess I'm not fireballing anymore.
Never stopped you before.
You're right. You convinced me.
All right, what are you doing, Tebrin?
Alright, so looking a little bit
One.
bloodied inexplicably, I am going to take 2 Moonblade attacks. 22.
22 will hit.
Sneak attack. 22.
22 damage. Nice.
Second attack. I don't suppose this is undead, is it?
It is not undead.
Unfortunate. Will I ever get to use those powers of the Moonblade? No one knows.
27 will also hit.
Holy
And
Ashran
14 on
rolls.
top of that.
14, nice. Just slicing into it. It's sort of like to its surprise to see you advance, and as it seemed like it was just kind of like slowing, it just like goes back into its combat stance. Tebrin up top. What are you doing?
Hold on. And then I'm gonna move. Luna, this is not the time. There's
Yes,
25,
yes,
30, 35, 40.
Are you disengaging?
I am I'm being a swashbuckler.
Oh yeah.
I don't usually have a reason to use it.
Busted buckler.
And I love it.
All right.
It's
Now
Oh,
up
God.
And
top,
up
Tebrin.
here, am I restrained?
You are.
Or am I just prone?
You are just prone currently.
Okay. Would it be possible
Because it pulled that chain
Throwing-
off to do another attack.
all of my, like, just throwing everything in there for me to cast dancing lights, put my bow away, and stand up? Or at least the first two? Since
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
just
you
a
can
cantrip
put
and it
your
doesn't do damage.
you can put your bow away for as like a free item interaction.
Okay, I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna cast dancing lights and try to spread it as far as possible to light up the area where we're fighting.
All right. So just spreading them out, sort of illuminating. You can see the shadows kind of recoil back a little bit. All right.
That's a concentration spell that lasts 10 rounds.
Nice.
Bow is away. Free item interaction action. Did it strike me as that this weapon had reach on it? Or did it wait until it was like right on top of me to attack?
The chain itself is only about 4 feet long.
Okay. And I'm going
Also
to
got
bonus action. Am I gonna do this? Bonus action, disengage, move to there.
All right.
And that is my turn.
Roswell, you are up.
All right, spiritual weapon above him or around him. I send my needle up and attack with it. This is my bonus action. Yeah, that's good.
27 will hit.
Oh, I cast it at second level. So 5 points of force damage, and then I'm gonna cast. He's missing some HP.
He
Just for
is-
to-
he has
Toll the
been
Dead?
injured, yes, and you just
Okay.
hit him with your spiritual weapon.
Oh. Good job. All right. And then I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead.
All right, so wisdom save. 14, which is not enough. So 12 points more of necrotic damage.
Yep.
As doesn't seem to affect quite as much as you have thought, unless if he's resistant to this specific type of damage.
All right, and I'm gonna back up right there.
All right.
Maybe one more. Okay.
All right.
And that's my turn.
Marius, you are up.
Mechanically, are either of these brandishing weapons?
All of the adversaries are brandishing weapons.
Okay. We'll start here. I'll move 5 feet. I'll make my first attack with the Warhammer.
All right. 29 will definitely hit.
Pretty good deal. I'm gonna roll that, but I'm gonna put this on top as well.
Alright, so
1 extra point of damage, but
strength
they must.
save. Fails. So they're holding 2 chains, so I assume you want them to drop 1 of the chains.
Correct.
So that's 12 points total of bludgeoning.
It is.
Alright, nice.
Then I will take my second attack with the Warhammer.
Do we? 29 will
Jesus.
hit again.
Very nice. And this time I'm going to do this. 17
target?
damage and 17 DC. Strength.
Alright, so strength save. Let's see. That will fail, so up to 15 feet away from you.
I will have him go only 5 feet in
All
a
right.
direct line away. I will then step on the chain, and I will take my 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 fighter feature, which gives me another full attack.
Your action surge.
Yeah, that's the one. It's usually over here on my screen, and now it's over here. I can't see it, but yes,
All right,
action
do
surge.
it to it.
Boom. First roll. Does the 15 hit?
15 will just barely hit. They're not very heavily armored, and you've been assailing him. There,
Excellent.
another
14 more points.
14 as you come sort of knock the chain out. He goes to reach for it, sort of hit him in the chest again with the hammer. He goes staggering back. You stand on the chain, come back. He kind of, as he's falling back, you just slam it across his face, and you just hear this as the neck breaks, and he just tumbles to the ground.
Excellent. Thank God I have the movement. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's only 30 more, and I only moved 10. So I still have 10 after this. But my last of the attacks.
All right. 21 will hit.
And this is only a 16 with no additional
All right.
sauce. No gnome sauce.
Excellent. Very good turn. Kira, you are up. As Numerius is cleaning the floor.
I will cast light on my shield because that's what I had planned.
All right.
And yes, I will cower in frightenedness.
All right. Cowering. A bold choice for your action. But the light does sort of radiate out along with the dancing lights that are up, and all of the shadows sort of in the general area around you guys, sort of from where Roswell is all the way up to Numerius, up on that level, all of the shadows kind of have receded. All right. This one is going to travel down to there, an area that's just outside of that, although it can't get closer, and is going to attack against you, Roswell, coming with chain sort of swinging as it comes forward. Spiked chain number 1, 23.
Yes.
Make a dexterity saving throw, please. 13 will not do it. So this one just cuts just across your neck, and I'm going to add some necrotic damage onto this as well.
Necrotic?
Necrotic damage.
I hate it. Thanks.
So 17 necrotic damage and 12 piercing damage for its first attack.
It's unbelievable.
Yep. The next attack coming at you again. 15 hit you.
My armor class is 15.
So just barely. So it goes. That one just slashes over, comes back, swings around the other one. It sort of wraps around your waist, digging some of the spikes in, just finding little pieces around you. So that one does 11 points of piercing damage, and make another dexterity saving throw for me there.
Oops, sorry. Oh yeah, just the first one. Sorry.
Okay, 13, unfortunately, just below. You are now considered restrained by it, as it comes in for its last attack at advantage. Now, because you are restrained, and that is a 22.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and we're going to add in necrotic damage with this as well. So here's the necrotic damage, and then the damage from the attack. So another 26 points of damage there.
Cool.
All right, Kendra, you are up.
I am going to drop a fiery ball on top of this thing's head. And I want to like cut the edge off on the right side, like
You just don't
on
want to hit
the
Tiburon,
bridge.
essentially, right?
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Though. Yeah, we'll do that. I'm gonna heighten it and put this thing at disadvantage on its saving throw, which is dexterity.
Coming at you. 23 with disadvantage.
It does not matter. The disadvantage, I mean.
All right. So give me a damage roll then. And then I'll be halved. So half of that is, that's a pretty decent damage roll though.
Can I have a dexterity check for the
16.
bridge, please?
16, and you do the fireball just, and you can see the ice just sort of melt and shatter away as it just sort of gives way to free water on either side. What did I say, 16 damage?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Does it do anything to the bridge itself, or is it just like set it on fire?
Well, you already kind of shot the bridge right there, so it's already in the water there. It is pretty waterlogged. So
my question is this thing on the bridge, or is it on the ice?
It's on the bridge.
Okay.
Basically, the bridge never really broke. You just kind of shot the bridge so that it's immersed in the water now, and so he just hopped over
but
that spot.
I was asking if my fireball did anything to the bridge.
No.
Okay.
Mechanic's question.
Yes.
Would some valiant gnome and his friends hear this explosion that sounds so familiar somewhere in the distance, maybe?
What's your passive perception?
Not bad. It's a 15, actually. That's pretty surprisingly good.
You don't hear anything.
Okay.
All right.
Bonus action. I'm going to healing word the unconscious person.
Okay.
Can somebody roll first level healing word for me?
Yeah, I got it.
I mean, are your modifiers the same?
No.
So
why didn't you just type 1d4 plus your modifier?
Because I don't know what healing word does. Because I've never used healing word in my life.
Oh.
all right, so take it
What modifier is
to
that?
what's your wisdom modifier?
Charisma.
Well, wait.
So
Charisma.
1d4.
Does it
Okay.
use
Would it be
who-
charisma?
Use your
does it
charisma.
use the casters or the person who put it in there?
5.
This is from the Ring of Spell Storing.
Yeah.
But
It
you
counts
are
as me casting it. So
You cannot use healing word here though, because you just cast a spell.
Oh, you're right.
So unfortunately, you cannot.
Okay.
But I guess I would assume that it would use whatever.
It would use mine. You
Yeah.
would think, right?
Whatever person is, because you're like completing the cast. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. It is its turn as it just was fireballed by you.
Oh, and I'm moving. Here.
All right. And as the elf falls, the dagger appears back in its hand. Following back from the dagger, you see some of the energy just sort of sucked out from the fallen elf there, going in as it sort of like absorbs in, and you can see part of like the burn across the neck just sort of heal up as it moves, and it will gain some temporary hit points as well, which is good for me, bad for you, and it will have advantage on its attack rolls. It is going to step forward off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That definitely gets all of you. And as it sort of absorbs that energy, the air around it just starts becoming like heavier almost, and you just feel this like this feeling that's just like energy draining from everything around you. I need all of the people there, so Tebrin and Kendra, to make a Constitution saving throw.
This has been going so well for me so far.
Wave of weariness washes over you.
I will.
16?
DC is 16.
Hell yes.
I will Tides of Chaos Mine for advantage.
All right.
Oh, and that reminds me. Oops. What magic? Cool.
And give me your save.
Fuck.
All right. So this is this. So failed save, you take 10d8.
10d8, huh?
Yep. 10d8 psychic damage, and you suffer 1 level of exhaustion. So it's 37 psychic damage. And 1 level of exhaustion to you, Kendra. And Tebrin, you will take...
That's a low roll.
Yeah, it was a very low roll. Tebrin, you will take half of that, so 18. And Dahlia makes her save, so we'll also take 18. All right, that's going to do it for its turn. Tebrin, you are up.
Alright, let's do this one first. 10. Moonblade. 20.
Hit.
With sneak attack, and I'm also going to add on a blade flourish, but let me roll the damage on that one first. 22 again on that.
Nice.
Plus 8, which brings my AC
Wow.
high.
Woo!
And then I will be taking my second attack.
$22 will hit.
15.
15 more
And
slashing.
Backing up again, bonus action healing word at 3rd level on myself. All
right. As you back up and start healing, you see the figure that was called out to as Dahlia sort of begin very slowly walking forward and shooting the longbow. First shot hits. Second shot hits. So 16 from that one, and another 13 from there. So what is that? 16 plus 13 is 29. So you slash through, just cutting this gaping wound up, and the figure just very calmly just the arrow, like loosening it almost at point blank from like the full draw of the bow. The arrow just catches in, kind of goes to reel back its dagger, and then just shoots again in the shoulder as it kind of tries to swing forward and just kind of collapses down to the ground.
Okay, I'm rolling my healing.
Bleh.
Good. Love it.
Roswell, you're up.
I didn't take a turn.
Oh yeah, Tebrin.
I'm considered out of combat here, right?
You are.
Okay, I'm just gonna quickly healing word that.
No, I can't remember what I was gonna do with him.
If you're gonna take like an action, we can do that in a round.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I am. I'm gonna move to here. I'm gonna take an attack. Which does have sneak attack.
23 hits. Whew.
Nice.
Nice. 26 damage.
And now that I have an extra 10 feet of movement, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna take my second attack.
All right. 26
And I'm
will hit.
I'm gonna take damage on that, and then I'm also going to add a wait, hold on. Does this do what I think it does?
I don't know.
Okay, yes, it does. I'm also going to add another Bardic Inspiration on top of that. So there's the damage on that one. Not great. And here is this. Ugh, that's not enough, is it? To get it, like, away another space to there. Oh, push the target up to 5 feet plus the number rolled.
Yeah,
so I
you
can
push
move
it
it here, I just can't move it past there.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that.
All right.
And be confused about why it feels like I've been healed. And end my turn.
Roswell, you are up.
Am I still restrained?
I will say no, because of the mobile flourish kind of pushed it off you.
Okay. How?
Actually, no, as it kicks it back, it drags you along with it.
Damn it.
Okay.
This does the opposite of what I was trying to.
Chains have reach anyway.
Yeah, the chain is wrapped around, so as you, like, knock it back, it does sort of drag along.
You're like a yo-yo.
Am I able to cast anything while restrained?
Yeah, you can. So the restrained condition is...
Yeah, I read it. I just wanted to double make sure.
Triple check.
Yeah.
Speed is 0. Attack rolls against you have advantage. Your attacks have disadvantage. That's so you can
All right.
still do everything.
I would like to try and break out of being restrained.
All right,
well,
go ahead and make a strength check.
Rah!
Trying to sort of like pull off and kind of wind it a bit. You're not able to loose the chain. It just sort of slackens a little bit, only to be coiled tighter.
God damn it. All right. Well, I'm going to move my spiritual weapon just about there. And just look really desperate.
All right. This is now the Gloom Weaver's turn.
The numbers make it weird, but go on.
What do you mean?
The initiative numbers.
Oh.
If the Gloom Weaver goes on 17 and goes before me. It's weird.
Oh, why is that?
I don't.
I don't know. Maybe I. Oh, you know, I didn't resort it, so it should go after you. So you can go now.
You're okay with that? I mean, I didn't want to butt in. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
no, that's fine. I don't. I think it was because it was on the GM layer, and I like sorted it, but it was on the GM layer or something, and didn't sort in descending order. Is the rest of the stuff right? Yeah, the rest of it's right.
Maybe.
Okay, so
Well,
yeah, so you will go before it.
I'm gonna go ahead and hit this creature with my warhammer.
All right, you can certainly try.
16.
16 will not hit.
Not hit this one.
So
Okay,
just sort of
so that's different.
just dodges out of the way.
Can I spend this
Key
then?
point. Precision strike. When you make an attack roll against a creature, you can spend a superiority. You can certainly do that. And a 24 will hit. How many superiority dice do you have left?
I'm down to 1 after that because I used 2 in the 1 round.
So 12. Does that? It
doesn't
12.
add to the
Yeah, okay,
damage.
yeah, yeah.
This just adds. This is the. I might have gotten close, but I missed. So and then I will continue the attack here. There's
29
my
will
favorite
hit.
number. And this one I'm gonna add a spell slot onto for my paladin feature.
All right.
Ooh,
Nice.
and just in case it's
Whew.
it's one of those creatures. If it happens to be undead or a fiend.
It is not undead or a fiend.
Okay, so in this case,
So what did I get? 16 plus 13, so 29 total.
29 for that hit. Yes.
All right.
Now, also, the terrain implies that I'm kind of bottlenecked here. Is that true, or is it more?
The wall here, it's a little bit of a step up, but they could sort of move past you a little bit there. It'll be difficult terrain to kind of step that there and then move diagonally. So they could go like here.
So they could go around me.
They can sort of go around you, but that's difficult terrain to go. Just step up on there. There used to be like a parapeted wall here, but it's sort of has eroded since.
No worries.
They can't go the other way. The other way is blocked off.
I will continue to end my turn, but I will yell to Akira, "Go help Roswell!"
Coward.
All right. Let's see.
I didn't get its attention. God damn.
Brr, 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 brr. I'm just gonna look at the. Oh, okay. That'll be fine. Okay. So
Does it require shadows?
it does not.
Damn it.
It casts. It's gonna cast Chill Touch, targeting you, Roswell.
No.
And it has advantage because you're restrained. And then do you get? Is it disadvantage on? Is it just ranged? It's just ranged against the target that you're next to, right? Not against other targets.
Attack rolls against a creature have advantage. Creature has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws.
What about prone?
Am I also prone?
It never knocked you prone. It just restrained you.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so this will be, and this isn't on the character sheet for some reason, so I will roll it out here. Just to hit 8. So at advantage, first one is a 24, and then I'll just roll to see if I crit.
Please don't.
It's not a crit. Okay. So 24 does hit. So you take 2d8 necrotic damage, which is 11, and you cannot regain hit points till the end of your next turn. I believe it says. Till the start. You cannot regain hit points until the start of your next turn. This hand just sort of comes out and just grabs you by the throat, and Tebrin, looking down, you can see it just starting to choke the life out of Roswell. After it does that, Nemarius, it turns to you, sort of grabs its spear, and it's going to make 2 spear attacks against you.
Ooh, it casts and attacks. Nice.
Yeah. So here comes its shadow spear. Everything's a shadow. You get a shadow. 14, I'm guessing, does not hit.
Nope. I swat it.
19.
A 19 does not hit my 21 armor class.
All right, excellent. So you managed to sort of
Swat.
deflect and dive away.
I dodged, ducked there.
If you can dodge a spear, you can dodge a spear. All right.
The second spear.
Kira, you are up.
Watching this creature from afar attack Roswell, do I know what that is?
You have never encountered something. I mean, it looks vaguely elvish, but you've never seen anything like this before.
Okay, then I am going to run over to.
Wait, are you talking about the creature or are you talking about chill touch?
I think she meant the spell.
Yeah, the spell.
You would recognize the spell, so you would know that your healing is not.
Okay, that was my question.
Yep.
I will run over here though anyway, and cast Spare the Dying. Can I cast Spare the Dying if you're not unconscious? Wait, that's a good question.
There's kind of no point.
Yeah.
You could hold it, right?
Okay, never mind. Instead, I will move out in front of Roswell.
Yeah, you wouldn't even be
In
able
front
to
of
you wouldn't be
Roswell.
able to cast it because it has to be a living creature that has 0 hit points.
That's fine. I will move out in front of Roswell. I want to be in between them.
There's a chain in between us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
You can go there if you would like.
I would
Become
like to
its
go
next
there.
target.
And can I kind of just like knock it with my shield that has light on it?
Do you have any ability that allows you to do that?
No.
Okay.
I
Well,
just
then you
want to do
cannot.
it.
You can be close to it with your shield that has light on it.
You can menace it with your shield.
Yeah, you
Okay.
you notice the light itself doesn't really have any like harmful effects on them. It's just kind of like it's bright, but they're not like.
Okay. If I reach out and touch it with light, it will take damage. So I'd like to cast light.
So you're gonna try to cast light on it.
Yes, on the creature. Hold on, let me link it. Spells. Light. Go. It will.
It's not
Blah,
a damage spell.
I just looked at this like 2 seconds ago on
Yeah, light isn't damaging.
D&D Beyond says it is.
D&D, no, it doesn't.
I promise. I
I
looked.
disagree.
Roll your actual in real life perception, please.
Well, what did I read? I read
don't
something.
know.
Roll your intelligence from memory.
Well, damn it. I read something that told me it had necrotic damage. I don't know what I read now.
Did you read Blight?
Life. It's
No, I don't have blights.
Blight.
Oh,
I get it.
Well,
I was like, why would it be? Oh, I was like, oh, it has the word light in it.
No, I swear to God, I just read this. I don't know where I read
Light
it from.
is not a damaging cantrip. It creates light.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
I
you
don't know
can
where.
technically try to cast light on it, but the effect will be if you hit it, it makes its dexterity save. It will light up, and you won't have light on your shield anymore.
No, I want it on my shield. I want it on my shield. I'm just gonna sit here and be stupid.
But the
okay?
evil elf thing will be glowing.
I'm just gonna stand here and be stupid and try and protect Rosa, okay?
All right.
I'm panicking.
So
What did I read?
the brilliant bedazzled cleric runs over, a bit indecisive. So you didn't even take an action that turn though.
No,
do
I
you have
just
like
ran.
do you have like a mace or anything?
I mean, it's away. It's not even like possible to pull
Yeah,
out.
you have an action and a bonus action if you would like to use it.
I mean, I just don't feel. I feel like I'm panicking as a character, and I wouldn't do anything because it doesn't work.
All right, fair enough.
Okay.
So your instinct would be to heal, but you know it doesn't work. So you're like, I can't.
Yes, so I can't do anything. I'm panicking.
All right, fair enough. But you do run over. In defense, the Shadow Dancer is up. It is going to make a spiked chain attack at advantage, as Roswell is still restrained. 18.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. And I will also add on the more necrotic damage on top of this, even though that isn't. I mean, that's you only have 8 hit points left, so brings you to
Correct.
0, and you have more than 40 hit points, so it won't matter even if it rolls max. All right, so you just see it pulls the chain tight around you, and it just sort of you just feel the spikes squeeze in and just lights out as the pain around your midriff goes. Kind of pulls that chain back as Roswell's limp body just coils off of it and falling to the ground, and it will take a step towards you, Tebrin. It's going to.
I have a very important question.
Yes.
Does the bardic inspiration that other Tebrin used apply to my armor class? This Tebrin's armor class?
It does not.
Okay.
And it will make its 2 remaining spiked chain attacks against you. Not at advantage, so whatever the first roll is.
22 will still hit.
All right. Make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Please, God, for once in your life.
Oof.
Nope.
3. All right. So coming back,
I'm a rogue.
whips
It can do that feature
across.
more than once in a turn.
Yeah,
Yes,
it can be
on
added
each
on
of its
every attack,
attacks.
I'm pretty sure.
Every attack, damn.
Yeah, it's a nasty monster.
So we are going to, first roll damage for that. So 12 points of piercing from that, and as it just digs into you,
I'm down.
another 36 points. We rolled 36 of a possible 40 damage as it comes and just goes, and it just like Tebrin, you go to dodge out of the way, but you kind of duck in a weird way, and it just catches around your, like whips around where your shoulder is and catches around, and Akira, you just see one of the spikes from the chain just go into Tebrin's neck as the blood sort of comes out in a gout as he drops. The chain sort of uncoils, and he turns around, looking towards you, Akira, for his final attack. So 22 hit you, Akira.
Yes.
All right, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh god. My best thing ever.
Ooh, that damage, jeez. All right.
Oh!
So you take 8 points of piercing damage, and he will knock you prone from this. So just sort of lashes down, the pain from it knocks you to your knee, and then kicks you down to the ground, standing above you. Kendra, you're out of rounds, but if there's anything you want to do, like immediately, like you said.
You may have noticed that Tebrin just collapsed next to you for no apparent reason.
Yes, Tebrin just sort of collapses.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll stay in rounds down here, because Tebrin hath collapseth.
Tebrin's having a great day.
So do I see like the wound
You do not.
from? So there's no wound or anything.
He just kind of collapses.
Okay. Tebrin doesn't always collapse, so I'm gonna go over.
But when he does,
Well, first off, I'm gonna spur
So
the,
what it does
I'm gonna
is because-
spur the dying on
Okay.
Sleepy
Uh.
here.
When he does, it's because he's failed multiple dex saves in a row.
I'm gonna put myself in flanking between the two.
The two
By
By
dead
the way, the
people.
light is gone. The overhead light is gone as well. From dancing lights. For the rest.
Okay. And I'm gonna like sort of jostle Tebrin,
Tebrin feels stabilized.
No, you're not
Oh,
stabilized.
did you cast it on the?
Yeah, no, you didn't.
I do
get
not
it.
feel stabilized.
All right, so
I guess I would healing. I guess that's sort of metagame.
I mean, he clearly collapsed, and you can see that
Right.
he's
And
unconscious.
we were in combat, so I guess a healing word. So 1d4 plus 4.
That's about right.
Yep.
I'll take it.
Guess I'll just get the fucking like caught by an ant or something, goes like down.
He just kind of comes like gasping up to consciousness and like grabs your arm on the way up and looks fucking terrified.
Yes.
Yeah,
For
you
a
alright?
moment,
Alright down there, champ?
for a moment, Tebrin, when you hit the ground, you looked up and you saw a figure with chains standing above you, and then you opened your eyes again and you saw
Kendra.
Kendra. As you come over, you see sort of cloaked and masked figure come down and put their hand on your shoulder, and they are going to cast Cure Wounds for 12 points.
Delicious.
12 points on you, and you are up.
And Tebrin somehow comes back to consciousness. But this Tebrin has no reason to question it, so he's just gonna leap up because he presumes that somebody over here healed him.
All right.
So 15 feet to stand up. Akira is prone, correct?
She is prone.
Okay. I'm gonna start by bonus action. No, I can't do that. Do I know Chill Touch?
Do you?
No, I mean, like, do I understand what it does?
Is it on the Bard spell list?
You can ask the other Tebrin.
I don't know. I think we know the same things. Chill Touch.
Its effects would also be gone. Oh no,
No.
it's not because Ross.
Because it hasn't been her turn yet. So Tebrin doesn't know what it is, so he's gonna cast Healing Word using his last 3rd level spell slot. Which I will still roll because whatever. We can see how much you're not gonna get, I guess.
You're gonna roll awesome, I can tell.
Yeah.
Normal.
And then I'm gonna be confused about why it doesn't seem to be working, and I'm gonna take my 2 attacks.
On Roswell. Like, damn it, the healing doesn't work.
Actually, I'm gonna take a step this way and do it.
Okay.
So I get my sneak attack.
Some attacks here. 25 will hit.
I love this sword.
You have advantage, right? So
Do not have
Oof.
advantage.
I do not.
you're not flanking?
Akira's prone.
Akira's prone.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Sorry, my bad.
So
18
glorious
points.
6 points of sneak attack damage.
Better than nothing. 18 is
And a second.
27 will hit.
How's this thing looking?
As you slash back, as it sort of is caught off guard, you just kind of manage to skewer it right in the sort of side of its abdomen as it spins around looking. You just go and you just catch it right across the neck as it just sort of like collapses on top of you, blood spilling out of it.
Awesome.
It's looking dead, is how it's looking.
Love it. Okay, well that's all I can do.
All right. Roswell, death saving throw, please. Nice. 1 success.
Well, at least you don't have anything attacking you anymore.
Numerius, you are up.
No, Marius.
Don't say it too loud
Funny you
because
mention it.
there's
about
something.
to rush over there to help, but it looks like they've finally killed that creature. Good. And I turn back to this one and I give him some attacks with my warhammer. Like this. How about you?
Oh, it's almost a 20. Almost
funny.
a 20.
Close.
24 will hit though.
Take 11.
Damn.
Take 13.
So 24 total?
Yes.
Because math.
Quack quack.
Nice. Just slamming in against its stomach as it appears to be recoiling from your efforts. Anything else?
I guess I'm done.
All right, it is its turn now. I'm just gonna look something up here. All right. As you slam into it, it recoils, and then its hand comes up, and it just begins casting a spell, and you see all these different sort of runic shapes appear. Nomarius, you need to make a wisdom saving throw here.
Because of my gnomish nature, I shall do so with advantage.
You are within 10 feet of it, so you have disadvantage on saving throws, so it's a wash.
I will wash the clothing and the saving throw
Yeah.
and just roll it normally, which is
So normal DC is 16.
much less good. I will expend this and use
better.
that roll.
19,
instead.
much better. As you feel yourself just sort of being hypnotized by this hypnotic pattern, not seeming to work as you just sort of shake out of it.
Don't even speak Elvish!
All right, and it will then follow it up by making 2 attacks against you, looking frustrated and desperate.
Well, that was lucky. Ah, shoot.
Yeah.
25.
Well, it's fine.
Okay. So
What?
You take 36 points as the spear stabs into you, and you can just feel like your life just being drawn out from you into it. These things don't mess around. And then it's got one more attack.
Mm.
All right. 19 does not hit, correct. All right.
Miss. Whew.
Kira, you are up.
Okay, so from the prone position, I am going to reach out and grab Roswell. Yes. It's kind of like drag myself to her a little bit and cast Cure Wounds at the 3rd level.
The 3rd level. All right. Some decent rolls there.
And then I'd
Actually,
like to
not
get up
great.
from being prone.
So 15
good.
points of healing to you, Roswell. And Akira is up and
Oh my god, you scared the shit out of me.
It's right into your
Get her
mic.
out of character.
I would like to take a look at the Twitch to see how many people just died. Yep. Shu definitely died.
Roswell was not one of them. All right. Any movement or anything else, Akira? Bonus action.
I just want to help Roswell up.
All right.
Is she's still restrained or by the chain or?
No,
Okay.
the chain has been off her.
Okay.
All right, Kindra. You see Tebrin back to consciousness.
Somehow. Oh no, this is the other Tebrin.
I mean,
That
at,
one
at,
you know why.
at this point, I would just like start having a conversation. So
Okay,
if you want to
we'll
finish
hold it, yeah,
whatever's
we'll
going on
hold
up
off,
here, yeah.
All right.
Excellent. Just use 6 seconds of talking. Just time it.
Where'd he go?
Seconds is-
Tebrin, top Tebrin is up.
Oh,
Okay, I'm going to use bonus action dash to like get around to there. Behind it.
You are dexterous enough to kind of hop over that without much.
Glad my dexterity is good for something.
Your passive.
And
dex.
I am going to take some attacks at advantage.
You are indeed. $25 will hit.
Sneak attack.
And 17. Pretty solid. Oops. I need to move him.
It's leaving. And a second one.
30 will hit.
If only it was 31.
So needy.
11.
11
Minimal.
more. How would you like to do this?
Excellent. I think he like takes a minute to like check and make sure that Roswell's in one piece, and then just like holds the sword out and to the side and just runs kind of lightly along the top of the ruined wall, kind of does a flip off it to land on the other side, and then just like spears it through the chest so that Nomarius just like sees this point of the sword and then pulls it back out.
All right, whack-a-mole, the point of the sword.
Hey.
All right. As the last of the assailants at the ruined castle falls, we're now out of combat.
Can we take a 5-minute break because I long for food?
This is a good place for a break. 5 minutes. Recollect yourselves. Questions will be answered.
Or will they?
Will they?
Questions will be asked.
He most certainly will.
All right. 5 minutes.
Freezing.
See you back momentarily. Noise. I'll be right back. Please make it stop.
That's getting a bit annoying in real life.
I have re-arrived.
Yoda.
Star Wars. R2-D2
This is
Maria,
one
kitty.
of my 3 Star Wars blankets.
I made myself BB-8 pillowcases.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I like the way you're eating your pretzel.
I was just thinking that maybe for the castle, I'll play a character that smokes and buy some like snack like this. Just like always have a cigarette in my hand.
Or a bubble pipe.
Mmm.
Could work.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good. Are you doing laundry back there? Can you hear me?
No, but he's getting that energy shot.
Oh,
That
that
was a boxed energy drink.
Yeah.
Looked like you were doing laundry for a second.
That sounds too chore-like.
Never.
I don't like chores.
Sounds
I do
too much
like,
like
however,
actual work.
today's sponsor is X Mode. It's energy drink in a box. It's literally boxed wine, but instead it's energy drink. For those who are watching at home, I highly recommend it.
Healing potion in a box.
It's healing potion. It's healing potion red, which is just off pink in this case. And I add it to the water because it's also strong enough to do that and be delicious.
Creates more water.
I fight water with water.
More slightly pink water.
The water is now contracted pink eye, but I'm gonna drink it.
That does not sound good.
Shake, shake, shake. Well, don't think of the pussy stuff. Just think of the crusty stuff.
Okay. Yeah, that makes it better.
Doesn't that help?
Yeah.
Look, I'm probably driving away people who are watching right now. Let's yeah, we're down to exactly the same numbers before.
Yeah.
At 10-minute rolls.
We just lost our X Mode sponsorship.
I would like to retract all of my statements about X Mode. It's the best. Wait, I would like to retract only the negative statements about X Mode. Can I filter it like that? Is it a Boolean search?
Yes.
Exclusive or statements only.
I would like to do if then else statements, please, for sponsorship.
Don't take it off.
I had to. After a while, it does get a little between the headphones and the headband.
Yeah, I guess
Oh,
the headphones
yeah.
would kind of make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty comfortable though, but after a
I
while.
think
Now,
once you
can't
break
you
it
use
into
it
it'll
now
probably
down
be
here?
even better.
What? Oh, just wear it like a bolo tie
Yeah.
or like a collar.
Can
Or
it
like
be
a
done?
blindfold.
I think it can.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
Mm.
It does smell good.
Is it real pleather? What is it?
It's real leather.
Actual leather,
Oh,
yeah.
real leather. Mm.
Yeah, there was a really cool leather vendor at the fair.
Did you watch him choose the animal and then tan it and then?
Yeah, we got to slaughter it ourselves.
Yeah, we did.
I'd like you to kill that one so I can make a bag or whatever.
I have never felt so alive.
There was like a child lost and found, like people who'd lost their children. You could pick from them.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
I think this one was like 7 or 8.
You gave them a running head start. It was fine, Akira.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my fault they ran into the archery range.
That's so awful.
All right. Speaking of horrifically awful things happening to people, let's return to this campaign.
Wait, Akira needs to go to the library. Wait.
Yeah.
Beth, look at my Star Wars blanket.
Does it say Star Wars?
That was such a good thing to pause about.
So not impressed.
The very best
Okay, I'm done.
reaction.
Well, it warms you better than the films
I thought it was like
warm
Goonies.
your soul. The Last Jedi wasn't good. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Anyways.
All right. You all take a moment to catch your breath. The bodies of the elven-like creatures on the ground smash and cut up.
That was a lot worse than I thought it was gonna be. And I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Oh. I can do a prayer of healing.
Okay, maybe we should do it near Tebrin. Okay.
Yeah.
That would be great. Although, thank you for the assist earlier, Akira. I was a little bit worried there for a second.
Yeah. I think I can do this one as a ritual as well.
Okay. Holly, you missed the point that you actually didn't cast it on her earlier.
Oh.
Well, I mean, if that's what Akira is doing, then like he's just gonna continue on in ignorance.
Sorry, my bad.
My apologies for not dispatching that enemy quicker. I could have came over and assisted.
I don't know if I can do this one as a ritual. Where's that at? How come it's not visible?
What's the name of the spell?
Prayer of healing.
I'm gonna guess it's that anything healing cannot be cast as a ritual.
Yeah, it's typically not.
It is not a ritual spell.
Okay, well, I'll take 10 minutes because I imagine we need that time to regroup and figure out what the hell Kendra is anyway, and cast Prayer of Healing.
All right. So you all take a moment, sit down,
And
collect yourselves, patch up the wounds.
Here is my, I know it's a player incorrect, but here's my player's theory. Here's my character's theory. Kindra is a well-known entity in that city that we just departed. I think your underhanded underworld contact has decided to abscond with her for the riches it may or may not prove to be able to get.
Kendra is small fry to a woman like that.
Not true. She's big fry.
Somehow, somewhere, Kendra knows she's being insulted.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that Kindra wouldn't be targeted by such a person, though.
Listen, here's the thing. Maybe she fell somewhere else and maybe she's getting attacked. Like, she could be down. So, like, have we searched this whole castle thing?
You understand, this was deliberate. She didn't like us. She put us in danger right away, Roswell. You and me. And
Kendra?
no, I mean, the person who cast the spell, clearly, I don't know if she didn't like you specifically, but it looked like these people here were waiting.
Or else we've just come to a very dangerous place, which makes it par for the course for literally everything else we do.
That felt like quite the ambush to me.
All right. So here's the thing. I think that I can try to find Kendra. So if we think that we can maybe move on from this place a little bit, I have like 1,000 feet radius of maybe where I can find her.
Have you been healed before? Or as we're doing this in between?
Have you ever been healed before?
Have you ever been healed before? Are you cleric with healing?
Yes, I have. I am healed. I can heal a little bit more.
And Akira, is that a community 16?
it is.
Okay. Helpful.
We want to take a half hour or an hour, an appropriate short rest.
We may not have the time.
I don't think we have, because if she felt what I mean, where is she?
Then we'll go and look for her.
Okay.
Roswell, calm down. Don't
Also,
be like Akira.
why when that chain shadow person was hitting Roswell, did you just collapse out of nowhere? Yeah,
Well,
Tebrin.
that would be because it tried to rip my throat out with a chain. It's
Wait,
the other
okay.
doesn't know what
It's the
happened.
other Tebrin. Damn it, this is confusing.
You think it's confusing for you?
Okay, Never mind. Ignore what I just said. I'd like to look around for any.
You guys have a sit down while me and Cool Tiburon crack this story right open.
You said like there was like barrels and stuff like that. Is there any like writing to indicate like where we are or what this place is?
Make an investigation roll.
8.
Looking around, you very quickly get the impression that nobody has really inhabited or used this space in likely hundreds of years. The wood is all very damp and rotted. None of the structures really have doors or roofs or anything on them anymore. Just a very profound state of decay.
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna cast Locate Creature. It lasts for up to 1 hour. So I hold my holy symbol and say Kendra Havel and picture her clearly in my mind. And see if I can get an initial ping.
Kendra is not within 1,000 feet of you.
Okay, so she didn't fall that near us.
Like,
Yeah. I think we should keep going.
But which direction?
I don't know, but I just know that within 1,000 feet radius, she's not here.
Look, Kendra can take care of herself. I'm sure she's fine.
Would you want to? If it was me and I fell alone, I wouldn't want to be left alone.
Yes, I know, and we're going to go and look for her. I'm just saying that she can also take care of herself.
Roswell, this might be Kendra's doing.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I hope not, and I actually don't believe it is, but part of my brain can't deny the fact that she has gone off on her own before.
And all of my brain cannot believe that we did not travel legally instead.
All right.
I don't think the kingdom has that many transport laws. We're like, no, this is illegal. You can't do it this way.
Is there an up that I can go to? Like, are any of those towers intact enough that I could get up and try to get a view of the surrounding area?
The towers themselves are in varying states of crumbling. You can definitely get substantially higher than you are now by 30 feet or so.
I want to get as high as I can, yeah.
All right, so sort of scaling some of the vines up to the walls around, you manage to slowly make your way around into one of the towers that's the way it's collapsed is kind of almost formed a ramp to like one floor up from that. And looking out, you see sort of down a kind of mountainous hillside, maybe another several hundred feet, just kind of sloping away from you, not super steep, but just craggy and rocky going down a valley of just blanket of evergreen trees, many of them sort of capped with white snow. Everything is very sort of pale, dark greens and blues, the color across. There's no breaks in the clouds or anything. And out
That's
past that, you do see a very large sort of mountain that kind of comes up off in the distance. It's maybe, I don't know, probably 10 or so miles away, you're guessing, and arcs up substantially above the elevation that you're at now, and you can see appears to be kind of a small structure just silhouetted against the sky out back. And looking around up at the sky towards that, all of the sky around that structure is just swirling in this slow sort of rotation of clouds that kind of doesn't come all the way down into a funnel into it, but you can tell it's just this slow writhing storm. And the longer you stand there and look at it, occasionally you can see like little flashes of lightning inside it.
I wonder what that could possibly be.
It could be the storm giants. I read about them in the library.
Storm giants.
I mean, I was thinking it was an air elemental, but I suppose it could be that too.
I would
Yeah.
like to disbelieve Garrett from a long distance.
Well, look, hear me out. Well, you're not here, but hear me out.
I will not.
They live in the clouds and these like classical clouds, and they travel in storms. I don't know. Could be. I don't know. Just saying what I'm saying.
About how did the storm giants come up initially? Player question.
Oh.
Is
The
anybody
domain of
remember?
the storm giants. We found out about that whenever we found out about the 4 charging locations.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right.
My gut feeling is that it's Darashan's tower, the remains of it. We know that there was some sort of arcane fuck up that tore everything apart around here. That looks like, to me, the remains of an arcane fuck up.
Kendra
Could be.
by, she would probably head toward the structure as well.
I'm gonna cast sending to Kendra and say, wait a minute, time out. We're like in the kind of like the ruins of a stone castle, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
It's not a huge. What you saw on that map is sort of like what it is. It's just like it's more of an outpost than it is like a massive castle.
Okay, so like kind of like a stone tower. Okay.
So it was like a keep on the borderland.
Okay. Hey, where did you fall? We're in a stone keep and we fought some really nasty shadow people. Are you okay? Where are you?
So question about responding to this. This is like 10 to 15 minutes after the fight finished, right? So would I have the conversation and learn information before I got this sending?
Yeah, we can do the other side there.
And then I'll respond to your sending.
So, as the edge of the footbridge, you all kind of collect yourself. Very chill wind kind of just whips across the water. You are at the very edge of just like looking out. You just see water out on the horizon, and then back sort of the way across the bridge is the main land, and you can see just forest that goes up. And looking up, there is a mountain there that just goes up higher and higher, and above it the clouds are just sort of slowly swirling about. As the hooded figure sort of extends a hand down towards you, Tebrin, gloved with kind of like a fine leather.
And also, like, he like grabbed Kendra initially, and then it's like he realized what he was doing and like immediately, and just kind of gets up on his own, staggering a little bit, but doesn't accept any help.
The hand
I don't
lowers,
provide it anyway.
and then and goes over and helps up the other elven woman, whom you can see is the only one of the 4 of you who has the light aura around them, and she sort of turns to you two, has kind of a confused look in her eye. I suppose thanks is owed for your efforts.
Who are you? Why are you here?
My name is Lyra. I was on a merchant ship. We blew off course in a storm this winter and crashed on the shores here. The rest of the crew fractured, not really themselves, and then these emissaries of Shadow fell upon us and slowly picked us off one by one. I wouldn't have survived. I'm not really one for fighting. I am a sailor. If it weren't for the Shadow Witch here, she warded them off and kept me alive. The hooded figure just sort of like nods a little bit and then turns, kind of lowers her bow to her side, then walks back, sort of in towards the homestead itself, and then goes inside, but leaves the door sort of open and ajar.
Permission to roll to vibe.
Who are you?
I
What are
want to
you?
try to get a feel for Asdalia or the Shadow Witch or whatever, just to figure out, like, are we dealing with a person or are we dealing with a creature?
Make an insight check.
I will do this. I will not do this at advantage. $21.
All right. From your impression, everything about them seems like they're a humanoid person. You haven't heard them speak yet, and it's very difficult, kind of with their face covered in shadow, to see much of them. But during the combat, they moved and attacked like any sort of normal person might.
I will stand and follow.
And gesturing to you, Laura says, Kendra, and who are you? How did you get here? there a
I'm
ship?
Kendra. This is Tebrin. We were teleported here. Yeah, that's how we got here.
On was it an accident?
The teleporting wasn't, but there was meant to be more of us here. Not quite sure where they've ended up. Where this is the remnants, correct?
As far as I can tell, yes.
Great.
We are far north. Come inside. It's easy to become frightfully ill if you stay outside too long in this cold. As she kind of beckons back, you go into the house behind if you choose to follow. Yes. Going in, there's a hearth at the far side. Doesn't have a very substantial fire in it. Like, it's almost like, why bother having a fire of this magnitude? Doesn't cast very much light. Just sort of like embers. They're just sort of percolating there as she takes a seat. Next, there is a stool alongside it. The floor is covered with several kind of animal-skinned rugs. They look to be probably from wolves, and one maybe something larger, like a bear. As the hooded figure, sort of facing away from you, doesn't really turn to acknowledge at all. You do see very modest resources of things a person would need to live, but by no means any kind of creature comforts at all here.
Is she standing? Or are they standing?
The hooded figure is sitting on a stool, kind of facing the fire.
Alright, I'll walk around and kind of lean on the mantle.
They look up towards you.
Your friend here called you Asdalia.
That is indeed a name that has come to me, yes.
But not your name.
If that is how people know me, then yes. I
I mean,
Emma
names
of
are funny
Dahlia.
things. You can take them on and put them off as easily as clothes.
Crawford, jerk.
She's sort of, and you can, for the first time now, you can see the eyes just kind of like studying you. Kind of a pale, like grayish complexion to the skin behind, but and from the voice, you're guessing probably female. It's a little bit huskier, a little bit deeper, but not outside of the female range. As she kind of adjusts her cloaks, sort of, you can tell they're thick, sort of woolen, lined with fur, just covering almost every part of her. She looks up. Been here for many years, waiting. And why are you here?
Why are we here, Tebrin?
What are you waiting for?
An answer to my question.
We've been sent here in search of some answers by certain interested parties in the Dracoran Empire, and a certain amount of archaeological curiosity of our own, shall we say.
This is not a place that is safe for those who are simply curious.
Well, according to most people, I'm not particularly safe myself, so I suppose it suits me.
I suppose. You are at least quick enough in wit. Those sentinels of the shadow that you saw sailing my ward. They patrol all about. They've spilled forth into this realm. They searched for me to capture me. And to those who is she just sort of gestures to the elven woman. Those who bear the gift of the light. But I see you are not burdened with that.
I mean, I'm a
wonderful
little bit
vulnerability.
unclear on what that means.
Light is a reflection of yourself. It's an outward appearance of what your soul, what your heart longs for. It saddens me to see you without one.
Oh, Tebrin, are you evil too?
The world is never divided into such neat boxes, Kendra.
Something bad just happened.
Surely you've at least been around on this earth for long enough to know that much. Besides, I've never been one for metaphor.
What was the... Do you know where an elemental is? You wouldn't happen to have that little piece of information, would you? That would save us.
Do you have one in
lot
your
of
like
time.
closet?
It seems as though your archaeological curiosities have brought you here, seeking Darashan's ruin, which he has brought upon the land.
Does that sound right, Tebrin?
Yes, that is one of the things we are interested in. I say, checking my notes.
The towers top the mountain. My first arrival here was likely hours before Darashan laid sunder to this isle in a rout of elemental energy cast light and dark apart into two separate sections, each creature existing side by side, a land forever divided. But, like a sinking ship, he did not manage to keep it from partially descending, and so here we lie, a wreck teetering on the edge of falling into shadow completely. The forces from the shadow have moved to purge the light and claim the darkness as their own. The energy there has prevented them from pulling everything down, but not from destroying the life here. That is the elemental you seek, that purest form of storm and fury. I believe that Darashan himself is consumed in that swirling, angry mass of cloud and air and lightning, hail. You seek an elemental force, that's where it will be. Atop his tower, atop that mountain.
Just
One moment, I've got another call.
so can you just go back to the part where you were talking about there being a light and in the shadow?
Yes.
Is it a metaphor or are you being literal?
Each person, no matter how good or evil they fancy themselves, has part of them that is pure and light, and a part of them that is impure, selfish, and therefore cast in shadow. Even setting foot on this land will separate one from the other. If you are completely pure, then light will find you and try to guide you away from this place. Call it a angel's blessing, or perhaps nature just trying to keep its creatures alive for a bit longer. But those in shadow get no such guidance. They will follow
so
their
you're
own path.
You're telling me that there's a version of me out there who's some sort of saint.
There is no version of you that you don't already know of. If you are no saint, then there is no saintly version of you.
I'm very confused.
Do you believe for some reason that you are missing light?
No. I think I know who I am.
Well then, here you are.
Here I am.
If you were torn apart, the other side of you would be out there somewhere. But since you are so considerate of yourself and comfortable in your own skin, perhaps there is no other side at all. But without any light to slow you down, you will be more effective.
No kidding.
I spent years fighting alongside the light of myself, only to be unable to protect it, to find it as a vulnerability. And as such, I let it die. here we are. I'd like to help ones like this escape. But as for you, I cannot. I must wait. At that, she kind of like stands and pushes back the stool, walks over to a table, kind of pours some water over what you're guessing is some form of tea into a cup, and then kind of takes a sip of it and sits again on the side of the table, crossing her arms. And where have your compatriots gone? You said you were here with many.
Wherever the Saints go, I
Question.
suppose.
They will be targets. You should protect them if you care.
Well, I suppose it's better to have more people in a place like this than fewer.
Can be both a boon and a vulnerability. If you seek travel to the top of Darashan's tower, perhaps you should just go alone, shed off that which makes you vulnerable, return stronger for it. And you would get Roswell's message by now, Kendra.
I will send back. I'm fine. Landed on the ice. On shore with Tebrin. Killed a thing. Met some elves.
So
That's just a summary of our entire adventure this part.
Yeah,
Killed a
yeah.
thing, met some elves.
So I get this message and I do that like slow pan over to Tebrin in front of me.
Tebrin is just like probably chatting with Akira and Novarius, just like chill.
Not chill, because Akira is asking some questions.
So as I get this message, I make a beeline and I go over to Teb and I push him a little bit. Not like hard, but just like kind of like, just, are you real? And I push him.
Fucking
Like-
socks him in the
No.
elbow drops him.
No, I don't want to, but just like kind of like,
Back to 0 hit points.
you know, just a light, like, just very light shove.
Did you need something?
Okay, you're solid and you're here. So Kendra just messaged back and you're with her.
I can assure you that I'm not.
Kendra has the worst sense of humor.
Listen, I've got. Why would she waste that energy? Oh, she would. But no, she said. Have you noticed anything weird? And like since we've been here, I mean, other than everything.
I mean, we got attacked by chains. That was new.
Yeah, I didn't like it. But so she said she fell on ice, and she met some elves, and you're with her.
She
So-
befriended the same people we were fighting, I bet.
So overall, super helpful in finding her. So glad she gave us landmarks other than ice. But she said you're with her.
I'm not.
Why would she say that? Why would she say that?
To be perfectly frank, I stopped trying to understand why Kindred does things a very long time ago.
Does this version of Tebran have light?
You see an aura with him, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. That's more of a player question. Well, it's maybe someone's pretending to be you, or you pretend. I insight.
Do you
Well,
know anyone here?
You can't insight.
I know. As I said it, I just.
Unless this
What are
is
you- what
not
are you
the
trying-
party.
What are you trying to pick up on?
Okay, hang on.
Ask me the question.
I know. I was trying to think of like what would be something that.
Make an insight check.
I knew we should have come up with code words that only we would know.
Tori,
Holy
do
sweet Jeebus.
do with that what you want.
So you're just, what are you trying to do? Just like, are you rolling to vibe or what?
Yeah, like I just genuinely want to know: is this the?
It's not a thing.
Yeah.
So is
You did this!
Is this the Tebran that I have traveled with? And no, is this my best friend?
I feel like that's a question to ask yourself more than.
You don't like me.
Just like, yeah, I mean, like, kind of talking with him, he strikes you as being all of the things about Tebran that you like best. It's like he's missing all of those things that like you put up with because you like Tebran, but like if it was in anybody else, they would drive you up the wall. Like anything that you let slide because he's always a little bit shady and he's like kind of rude to people that aren't in the party. That kind of
Mhm.
it's gone.
I think what's hard, I think Brazel sees Tebran through very rose-colored glasses too.
Yeah.
So
So
I don't.
in that case, he seems happier and more relaxed than I think you've ever seen him. But otherwise, you probably wouldn't pick up on anything else.
But it's you though, right? Like it's one of those things
You're
where.
not seeing anything to suggest that this is not Tebran.
Okay.
Other than all of the changes that suggest it's not Tebran. Other than those things, you're not seeing anything to suggest that it's not Tebran.
Got it.
Thanks.
Go
Kindred.
away, disembodied Kendra. What are you doing?
You feel weird?
Not really. I mean, to be perfectly frank, I feel better than I felt in a long time.
Okay. That's weird. Oh, is it Siora? Does she make you feel like, oh, is that?
I'm really unsure how to talk about that. I don't know how to answer that.
Stop
Oh.
smiling.
Okay. Well, something's just weird. I think we should. Did we see any bigger pockets of ice anywhere? I don't know. I just feel like we need to move. And
Tell her we were headed to the structure.
no. Did I tell you we saw it? Okay, no. Okay. Well, that is where we're headed, correct?
That was our goal. I
Okay.
believe.
Did the person who sent us here have a grudge against Kendra? Did they know each other?
Kendra's well known in that city.
No, not that I remember.
Except that she isn't. Her family's well known.
Well,
Kendra's
her
been
last
missing for
name
7
comes
years.
late. And it was set up by her sister, who would definitely be like, "Oh, it's a Habel situation. Habel.
Exactly like that.
Okay.
You want me to tell her? Actually, hang on. I'm gonna cast sending again and say, Tebran's with us. We are gonna head towards the tower with the storm above it. if you can find it. Please try and find us.
No, Tebrin's with me. You're fucking crazy. What tower? We're heading to the mountain. By the way, Tebrin's with me.
So we see the storm, like the storm and the mountain are one and the same, correct?
We don't have a point of. Yes.
There's only one storm that you see.
Yeah.
And it's above the mountain that you can see.
Yeah. Sorry if I confused that. There's a couple stories happening. I meant to say where the storm is, minimally. Okay. She says I'm crazy, so that checks out. And
So it's definitely Kendra.
Yep. And she says, no, you're crazy. Tebrin's with her. So
What you get for consorting with fiends.
Did I read anything about this in my research?
I'm gonna wait till my internet settles.
You just
You're
teleported
back.
That was pretty amazing.
It was.
You read nothing about any of this.
Okay.
Oh, fuck. You remember, you were there when we had the conversation.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
said, what's his fuck? Was interested in light and dark, and honestly, I wasn't paying that close attention, so I'm not sure what the
Wait.
specifics of that were. Right.
Who?
You know, the woman, Margarine.
We
Oh, I
were-
was there.
Yes, that's why I'm telling you
Oh.
with my mouth.
Tower of Darashan inspired the Shadow's Oath. This used to be the Sparrow's Isle. Boundary between Shadow World and our own. Estalia travels and seeked out Darashan's soul, equal parts light and shadow. Channeled between elemental energy, large amount of energy charged. Shadow form and light form.
So, as you sort of have this sending conversation back and forth, Stelia finishes her tea and places the sort of pewter cup down. The fairly pronounced thud just sort of turns Tebrin, just kind of gives you a very sort of penetrating look, and then sort of like turns, and then takes a slightly shorter glance over at Kendra. You can tell she lets out this big, like, sort of like, and then just kind of turns and walks out towards the out the door, and then down sort of to the edge of the coastline there, grabs a piece of timber that's there and just sort of smashes through a section of the ice, and you can kind of stand on the threshold and watch. And
Yeah, I'm not going any further than the threshold.
and you can see she reaches down and like puts her hand into this like sort of broken out section of the water, and it starts to like just bubble for a little bit, and then you can see just light reflecting up off of it, and then after 30 seconds or so pass, takes her hand back out and turns, sort of watching her, and just says, "This is not the way it should have been. You need to go find your friends and make this right."
All right. Not sure what that means.
As she walks sort of back up towards there, sort of going up the kind of treacherous terrain. Give me a perception roll. Actually, both of you.
20. Not natural.
22. Not natural.
As she's walking back up, you notice that she slightly favors one side. As if
Is
she's
it the
had-
side of the hand that was in the water?
Sure.
Well, then it doesn't mean anything, so never mind.
Yeah.
Did it
Like-
seem like she was doing it before? Is this new?
You didn't really notice, but it's not like new or pronounced. It's just like since you watched her kind of walk away and then come back, it seems like an old injury or something.
Okay.
Just kind of slows and slightly changes her gait a bit. Your friends are headed to the tower. Suggest you find them. And from what I've seen, she turns to you, Tebrin. Tebrin, you have some work to do to right things. And fix
What does that mean?
fix yourself.
I'm fine.
Get back to being the man that you need to be. The man that people depend on you to be. And then return to me. And my wait will be over. She sort of just goes and walks back up. Till then, I have no more time for you. She kind of lightly pushes both of you out the door and closes the door behind her. That's where we're going to end for tonight.
I agree, Maria.
Should they roll initiative first or wait?
We're gonna burn the place down.
Fireball.
All right. So everybody thoroughly confused yet?
Yes.
I don't know. It seems like we got that milestone.
Yeah, aren't we level 11 yet? Does it get getting split into doppelgangers?
No.
At least level me.
No,
Tebrin, you are 2 level 5 characters now. This is amazing.
Did we get the bard or the rogue?
You got the bard.
Bard.
It's
Oh,
the
yeah,
good
of
one.
course we did.
I like how pure Tebrin swore more than evil Tebrin.
It's all about intent, isn't it?
What
Not
did
about the
Tebrin
words.
Do
It's about the words.
do Tebrin.